Tonight, from Grambling, Louisiana, rivals Alcorn State and Grambling St hook up in one of the SWAC's most honored rivalries. Senior linebacker Lee Robinson leads the Braves against the young Grambling squad, with both teams searching for this season's first win. Kickoff is next. From one of the historic outposts in all of college football, Grambling, Louisiana, and Robinson Stadium, the Grambling Band welcomes you to this SWAC matchup between the Alcorn Braves and the Grambling Tigers. Welcome, everyone. Along with Jay Walker, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you very much for joining us. Very excited about this matchup, and I tell you what, in the distinguished history of Grambling football, and of course you always think of Eddie Robinson, I doubt he ever had a younger team than what Rod Broadway has going on this field tonight.
You will be hard-pressed to find a younger team anywhere in the country, let alone here at Grambling State University, when you talk about the offensive side of the ball. This is an offensive unit that starts 3 freshmen on the offensive line. They've got 1 wide receiver that caught a pass last year, and they've got a quarterback that's making only his 2nd career start. To say they're youthful and inexperienced is an understatement. But the good thing for Coach Broadway and his staff is, on the defensive side of the ball, coming into the season, they thought they had a defense that they could hang their hat on. Last week against Nevada, they gave up over 600 yards of total offense. They still have questions that need to be answered about if this defense is going to be able to lead this team to be competitive in the SWAC.
And certainly questions about the Braves last year. Where was their offense? 2-8, difficult time for them. But he's come home. Ernest Jones now his first year as the head coach at his alma mater. And already, and the Grambling coach has told us this, you can see a definite change in the Braves' attitude.
Definitely. I think he's going with the 3 Ds. Discipline, determination, and desire to bring back that pride to this Alcorn State program. Coach Jones is an alumnus of Alcorn State, and he brings energy that you would not believe. If they're going to get it done, they're going to need their offense to put up some points. And the good thing for them is they've got a quarterback in Tim Buckley who they think is going to be phenomenal. In his first career start last week, he threw for 3 touchdowns, only had 1 interception. If he continues to improve, look for this Alcorn State Braves team to be very exciting on the offensive side of the ball.
And you never know, maybe Coach Jones can call on his old teammate, Steve McNair, for a little advice on how to tutor a quarterback. This great rivalry is just moments away. Stay with us.
The Southwestern Athletic Conference is dedicated to offering challenging educational opportunities to talented students and future leaders from all.
Long history between these rivals. They very often have opened this season against each other. Neither team did it this time, obviously, as Grambling played against Nevada. And Alcorn lost a close one to Southeastern Louisiana. We are at Robinson Stadium in Grambling, and we are ready to go here. Absolutely beautiful day in this part of Louisiana. Just perfect. In the series history, this is meeting number 59. And you see that Grambling has dominated of late. That's a little deceiving, Jay, because it's 2-2 in the last 4.
Yeah, and that tells you the difference, the direction of the program. Alcorn State's been on the downside. That's why they have a new coach in there. You talk about Grambling. They had success after Eddie Robinson retired. Doug Williams came in there, kept it going. Now they're trying to see with this new coach, Rod Broadway, how much longer he can keep it.
Grambling will receive this kick. That's headed toward Kenneth Batiste at the 6. Call him a playmaker. He's got a chance to get to the outside. It looked like maybe a face mask or maybe not. Looked like he got a fistful of jersey on the stop. So excellent start for the special teams for the Braves. And terrible field position for Grambling in their home opener. Greg Dillon is the quarterback. Wasn't expected to be the quarterback a few months ago. We'll get into that a little bit later on, but he got a good start against the Wolfpack, throwing for a touchdown and 225 yards. Got picked off a couple of times. Also a decent runner, 30 yards and 13 carries at a long of 21. From the 17. Batiste got the handoff, and boy, somebody's been studying tape. That play is erased by the Braves defense. That's going to be a loss of about 3 yards.
Talk about the front 4 for Alcorn State. They can get it done.
Take a look at the Grambling lineups and keep an eye out for Cornelius Walker. Nick Lewis is the only wide receiver on this football team this year who caught a pass last year. And also, we get a player for you to watch, the right guard, the true freshman, Greg McGrew, 6'8", 368 pounds, and we think a size 22 shoe. Right now, though, 2nd and long. And the Braves defense gumming up the works again, maybe to the 15-yard line. And the interior of the Braves defense, Timothy Lewis in on that one. This front four, watch out for Justin Hunter, the nose tackle, a sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee. This is a good group. Along the linebackers, Lee Robinson is the star of this defense. He is the leader, the senior. And in the secondary, anytime you can get somebody to come out of Miami, as ATN has done, you know you got yourself an immediate talent. Already one fumble recovery on the year. There is Lee Robinson. They expect a lot out of him. Is a good runner. That will not be anywhere near the first down. The play is dead. That will not be a fumble. And Morris in on the stop. So 3 and out at home after the bad field position, the good kick coverage.
Yeah, I think what you saw there is Greg Dillon. What they like about Greg Dillon, he's got the ability to make the first guy miss. He's a fantastic runner. That's why he's fortunate enough to be the starting quarterback here. They have him over J.P. Tillman, but Greg Dillon can move. Alcorn's got to be careful not to let him get out of the pocket too much. Antonio
DiGiornet standing by for the Spivey punt. We had a couple of big boomers last week. This one's going to roll a bit, I think, sideways. And excellent field position for the Braves. They're going to be at the 42-yard line. So in the early couple of minutes, it's all been field position in favor of Alcorn State. We'll take a look at their lineup. You mentioned Darius Pilcher will get the start at running back. Keep an eye out for DiGiornet also playing in the wide receiver position. At offensive line, some experience there, particularly Carvalho, the senior at left guard position. And of course the quarterback, here he is, Timothy Buckley, the junior from Madison, Mississippi. 3 touchdown passes in that narrow loss last week.
Very impressive in his first career start, going against a much a tough comparable opponent.
Not even thinking pass on the first play of the game. Flag comes in behind where the quarterback was down, so this one might be a holding penalty. And you're holding your head like you just saw something funny.
Well, you know, that's one of the things that you don't want to have happen to you. Your very first play from the scrimmage, you're going on the road, tough environment. You can't penalize yourself to make things tougher than they have to be.
Derek Johnson was in on the stop, but this play will undoubtedly come back.
Number 60 on the offense, 10 yards from the previous spot.
That's the freshman Nathan Fears. Let's see if we can spot this hold. You found it all the way from up here.
Yeah, you take a look on the left side. Anytime a quarterback gets there and you seal the guy, you got a hand on the shoulder pad, make that tug. Sideline judge can see that every time.
First down and 20. A little delayed draw that time, wiped out immediately as Pilcher had the opportunity, and nothing there for Grambling. Christian Anthony, very good defensive end, was right in there. That's the player to keep an eye on tonight for Grambling along the defensive line. And the linebacker core, we've already mentioned the middle linebacker, number 59, Derek Johnson, Jr. from nearby Monroe, Louisiana. And in the secondary, well, they look at Nigel Copeland, the senior, for the leadership there at the quarterback position. Second and long for the Braves. Haven't seen either team really air it out in the early going yet, even get a chance to throw the pass. Maybe one here. Pressure from behind, and it's a sack. Well, we told you to keep an eye out for Christian Anthony, and he beat his man that time for the sack.
Great job of Christian Anthony. One-on-one against the left tackle, Nathan Fears, and Anthony did a good job of showing some speed as well as some strength. Take a look at him on the left-hand side. Number 90, Christian Anthony, beats his man from the initial snap of the ball, takes down the quarterback for the sack. Buckley had nowhere to go. Got to protect the backside of your quarterback.
Loss of 4 there, sets up 3rd and 25. First down is actually in Grambling territory. Screen, well read. Very, very little there. Beautifully done that time. Chris Williams on the catch, and Derek Johnson in there to make the stop. So he had a nice series. Melvin Matthews also around that play. So neither offense able to do very much, and you wonder the great what if there was no holding penalty and it's 2nd and 5 rather than 1st and 20.
And that's why that penalty on first down was so crucial. You can't do that on the road. You don't establish any type of offensive rhythm once you hurt yourself with penalties on first down.
Pronounce it Alex Olski, 61-yarder last week. That's Kiari Thompson. That sun might be a problem for him. He'll get a return knocked out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So better field position for Grambling State. This time a 51-yard punt. Not much wind here today. Pretty still, very, very lovely evening for college football. So far, the defenses have dominated the first 4+ minutes of this first quarter. We'll see what happens when we return.
There are only 2 opponents you need to face, and that's the golf course and yourself.
Out of bounds, break out the snorkel.
And if you can conquer those 2, everything else will fall into place.
Oh, this isn't good.
What was the architect thinking? Why would he design this bunker here? Yeah.
Opening home game of the year for the folks at Grambling State here at Robinson Stadium. And Greg Dillon leads him out. Frank Warren is in at the tailback position. Well, Greg Dillon wasn't expected to be the quarterback a few months ago, though, Jay. Brandon Landers was.
Yeah, and look at what Brandon Landers did last season. We talked about Grambling. He was the heart and soul of this offense. When you lose your starting quarterback going into his senior year, he's supposed to be the leader that they needed on this offensive side of the ball. 23 touchdowns, over 2,600 yards passing the ball. And you talked to Coach Broadway about it. Really impressed with how he handled it. Most coaches say, well, we tried, it was close. He said, hey, Landers didn't get it done. He's gone. Let's move on.
And he moves on with Greg Dillon to move the change for 7 yards on the flip to Kenneth Batiste, the SWAC newcomer of the week for his 1 touchdown, 6 catches, 95-yard performance last week. First down of the game on the ground. Dillon with the carry. We had defense dominating early, and now maybe we'll see some offensive plays as Lee Robinson was in there. So we talked about inexperience from the start. We're looking at 3 freshmen on this offensive line, but right behind the offensive line is inexperience.
Not a lot of playing time there, not a lot of reps or game time reps, but that's one of those things where people are saying if you're going to get Grambling, you better get them this year, because although they're young, the coaching staff said they're good, they're just young.
By the end of the season, they could be really interesting to watch. Here's Batiste. Coaches call him an explosive playmaker. That time, though, he was stranded and surrounded by 3 Brave defenders. So a loss of a yard there. Going to be 2nd down and 11.
This is one of those extended handoffs, just trying to get the ball to the playmaker Batiste in space. And if you're going to defense this, you have to make solid tackling. That's a great job in coming up playing outside force by Roderick Williams, the cornerback.
Warren in a tailback. There's Batiste. And they run the option. They would love to get Batiste the football here. They've gone to him several times across the 40 to the 43-yard line before he's brought down by Josh Cragen, the strong side linebacker from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And Joe Keyes also in there from the defensive end position.
The biggest change I've seen in Grambling throughout the years has been when Melvin Spears was here, they had the Tiger stretch. It was a vertical offense. They threw the ball downfield often and a lot. One of the things Broadway does, he's a defensive coach at heart, ball control. Ball control, so he throws the ball sideline to sideline horizontally rather than the vertical stretch offense that Melvin Spears had put in place.
So those years with the ball coach at Florida and Duke didn't rub off on him?
Don't think so. Hard to change a leopard stripe.
Or a tiger stripes in this case. That's going to be a little shy of the 1st down of the tight end, Larry Donnell, the junior from Ozark, Alabama. It doesn't look like that he made it, and in fact they are about 1.5 yards short, almost 2 yards. Cragen again in on the stop, and the crowd here would like to see the home team go for it, but it's a defensive coach. What's he going to do?
Oh, he's going to punt away and allow his defense a chance to win the battle of field position. But that's what happens when you have teams that aren't used to throwing the ball vertical. You go dink dunk here, and you need to get that extra yard. If it's not a precise route, they so often come up short.
Spivey in again to punt.
Back to the front for the Grambling Tigers.
DeJarnette standing at his 10. They got close on that one. And DeJarnette with a fair catch right at the 20-yard line. 7:33 remaining in our first quarter. This SWAC matchup is scoreless. The Braves get their 2nd shot at the Grambling defense. We'll see how they do. The sun setting here in Grambling, Louisiana. The SWAC matchup. The Alcorn St Braves, the Tigers of Grambling State. A lot of punts so far. Good defense by both teams. Hey, Monday Night Football is back on ESPN with a special doubleheader. First at 7 Eastern, Adrian Peterson leads the Minnesota Vikings ground attack against division rival Green Bay as the Aaron Rodgers era begins at Lambeau Field. Then 10:15 Eastern, Jay Cutler and the Denver Broncos take on the AFC West rival Oakland Raiders, Jamarcus Russell and Darren McFadden. Monday Night Football beginning at 7 Eastern on September the 8th.
Something about that music.
Oh, wakes you right up.
It wakes you up, let you know it's that time of year to play the sport that everybody loves.
Everybody loves it here in Grambling as well. And there's a gain to DeJarnette, the junior. receiver from Timothy Buckley, the junior quarterback. That should be right at the marker and will be a first down for the Braves, and their first down of the evening. Kenneth Anio Jr. on the stop. Edward Johnson made that catch. Well, Buckley was able to spread it around. Is that the new philosophy here?
I think so. Anytime you've got an offense that goes 5 wide receivers on any given play, you've got 5 options. So this is not a pure 2 wide receiver set. They like to keep 5 guys on the field at all times, and that's showing that he's learning the system and he's taking what the defense is giving him rather than trying to force feed somebody.
Well, you know, it's interesting now. We have contrasting influences in the coaching staff, and that was not a well-executed play that time. It appeared the only reason that the runner got knocked down was his own man ran into him.
Yeah, the left guard trying to pull around there, Bronson Carvalho. You got to get out the way there, big fella. Take a look here. Look at number 60 coming around there. He gets beat off the block on the pull, and that's Nathan Fears, the left guard in there. You got to get out there a little bit quicker. You know, I know it's not easy to move around all that body you got there, but make it happen. Come on, young fella, get out the way.
Only a freshman. Gunned on a dart. That was a hard throw by Buckley. Knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A minimal gain that time. Going to set up 3rd down and about 7.
What I like about that throw, it was crisp. It was a nice, crisp pass. He got the ball in the shotgun formation, had a quick release, and hit the wide receiver in stride, so the receiver was able to lean forward for an extra couple throws. Just look at the time on this one. Gets the ball, mind made up, crisply thrown pass. Wide receiver catches the ball in stride, gets a couple extra those rack yards, run after catch yards, showing some poise.
That was Chris Williams with the catch. Look, he was thinking run all the way that time, and the Grambling defense was all over him. He's going to be well short of the 1st down.
And that's exactly it. As a quarterback, the more experience you get, when they're blitzing and you've got to protect it, that's what you like. You get one-on-one matchup. Seemed to me that Buckley made up his mind that he saw a blitz coming, he was going to try and outrun it, but the Tigers put on a zone blitz, so they had outside contain. So he's got to hang in that pocket, trust your offensive line.
A rarity on this Grambling team. A senior, Jeffrey Jack, made the tackle. There aren't many.
Did you say Grambling had a senior?
I did. They
got
many.
some on defense.
Yes, actually they do. When you compare to that offensive line starting 3 true freshmen.
Look out.
And a little rolling punt that time. A rolling punt pocket as the pressure came up the middle. How about this thing hugging the sideline? I'll tell you, that worked out about as well as you could imagine if you're rooting for the Braves. The ball dying there at the 34-yard line. And what an alert play by Olski here.
This looks more like a Pete Weber bowl with a big hook on it. You see him come out the pocket, rolling, pressure's going. He does a little semi-roll to the outside. This ball leaves. It's going directly out of bounds. And look at this hook. Pete Weber would be proud of that, wouldn't he? Right on there, almost goes into the gutter, comes back into play.
I did not know you were a bowling aficionado.
I'm an athlete, man. I like
That's
it all.
true.
Hopscotch, jacks, tetherball.
And a little option play, and look out below. No chance that time. Absolutely smothered by Brandon Morris, the freshman from Arlington, Texas. As he got a fistful of Greg Dillon and refused to let go, that's going to lose you 4, maybe 5 yards.
The reason why Alcorn State's going to be pretty competitive, the front 4 can get it. Look at him dominating the line of scrimmage. He's 3 yards in the backfield. Although he misses the quarterback on the initial tackle, still has those big paws that he calls hands to pull him down one-handed. Grambling State, this big offensive line, they better start blocking somebody.
And they don't here. Dillon's going to have to escape. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gain 1 very painful yard.
How many people did he make miss just to get back to the line of scrimmage? That's the old jailbreak protection that Grambling's trying to use, where everybody's just trying to run and get out of there. They've got to shore it up, and there's no excuse for that. I don't care if you're a freshman, sophomore, senior, or junior. Protect your quarterback one-on-one, block somebody, and don't let them get to your QB.
Well, Braves that time sent a few bodies in there, too. Timothy Lewis was hanging around. Josh Cragen mentioned his name several times already. So this has been pretty much a defense-dominated game. Little look-in pattern up. He fumbled the ball, and it's going to be ruled incomplete. The ball was dropped by Nick Lewis and recovered by Roderick Williams, but the line judge said, no, he didn't have it long enough. So it's going to bring up another punt for the Tigers, already their 3rd.
Let's take a look at this one. This was pretty close. Looked like a very catchable pass. Lewis hits this ball, and does he make an athletic move? He's got it. He tries to cut to the outside. Okay. Williams got there just to punch it out. Could have been called either way. It looked like Williams did a good job as a defender punching that ball out of there.
So we mentioned there's no replay here.
Not on this level.
We need to tell our fans that. That is a beautiful punt. And it's going to go ahead and roll. I cannot believe that T. Jarnett actually did that. And here come the flags. A 40-yard punt that hung up for a long time. D. Jarnett really took a hit that time. Bruna Foster, 43.
He might have called a fair catch and decided to run the football afterwards.
Well, you really can't do that.
Yeah, I think that may be why we're getting the flag.
That's not nice.
There's a flag on the play.
And Coach Broadway is already signaling, I want it to go the other way.
Number 34 on Alcorn. 15-yard field. First down.
So the Braves will get some poor field position in a game that's seen some big hits and big plays on special teams, but none in offense, at least not yet. There's your score and time here in Grambling, Louisiana. Enthusiastic group on hand. Home opener for the Grambling Tigers, but this has been all defense, Jay. This surprise you at all?
Somewhere Steve McNair and Bruce Eugene are saying, what happened to my alma mater? They can't move the football, but we knew that Alcorn had a pretty good defense up front, and Grambling too. Seems like they found their rhythm in terms of defensive football, so the offenses have to catch up.
And some of the execution's been a little off on some of these running plays. Here's the quarterback almost getting in the way of the back. Christian Anthony, who is a preseason SWAC first-team defender, in on the stop. And a couple of times now we've seen the Braves almost run into each other.
Yeah, you know, this is the second time that we've called Christian Anthony's game, and we're still in the first quarter. Defensive line is just dominating right there. Anthony gets beating his man one-on-one in the trenches, and both of these teams, it all starts in the protection down in the trenches. They haven't been able to protect the quarterbacks or the running backs. That's why it's been such a defensive battle.
He's hit his first 4 passes, and that one is caught. Unbelievable grab. And the first big offensive play of the game goes to Elliott Moore, the senior from Jackson, Mississippi.
Tim Buckley got away with one there.
Yes, he did. He threw that into the coverage. T.J. McCord has got to be shaking his head. He had his hands on that.
Yeah, you know, middle of the field wide open, and Buckley underthrows this pass, doesn't step into it. And look at the concentration by Elliott, though. Give him credit. Keeping the focus on the ball, going to get it, and after he catches that ball, he turns upfield. That's a big play.
That's our longest play from scrimmage here so far, and the Braves are going to give some of it back, it looks like. Although an excellent effort to get back to the line of scrimmage that time by Pilcher, as the Tigers defense had that play smelled out.
And one of the things that Pilcher did a good job of is making the first man miss. That could have been a big loss behind the line of scrimmage. But Pilcher did a good job of having that second effort and getting the shoulder pad squared to get upfield just to get back to the line of scrimmage. But there we go again. Once again, we're talking about somebody struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage. The offensive line play has been horrendous.
Well, neither team has run the ball well at all. So Buckley's 5 for 5, going for it all right here, but to whom? It looks like he was trying to get it to Elliott Moore, but the closest guy to the ball was Nigel Copeland.
Nigel Copeland's coming over from that cornerback position. He was 6 yards ahead of his wide receiver that he was covering, and Buckley just throwing that ball up for grabs. Got to settle the young quarterback down. I mean, take a look. He's just throwing this ball up where his wide receiver doesn't have a chance. And look at Copeland come from the outside, leaving his wide receiver to come try and get the interception.
Alcorn 0 out of 2 on third downs, and we've had an and long so far. Second and long, now third and long.
Let's go to the other side.
Pressure coming from Anthony. Whoa, boy. Solid hit. Another solid hit. That won't get a first down. Shannon Pugh paid the price that time. And Keith Hall with the first big hit for the Tigers defense.
And when you see somebody get lit up like that, that means the quarterback's not seeing things well. Past 2 throws, he hasn't seen the coverage. He doesn't know what he's looking at. You don't set up your wide receiver to take punishing hits like that. You got a linebacker sitting there squatting, waiting for the crossing route, yet you delivered him into a headache.
Never mind him about that on the bus ride home tonight.
Oh, he'll let him know.
He'll let him know right now.
On the sideline, hey, what are you doing?
No rolling punt this time, but a really high punt. And everybody getting out of the way of this. And what a break this is going to be for the Braves.
Wow, you can't let that ball bounce.
That's down to the 4-yard line. So far, one of the best athletes on the field has been the punter for Alcorn, as Olski did a magnificent job on a rolling punt, avoiding a block, and that one he sticks inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Mistake by the return man there?
Oh, you definitely have to come up. He had an opportunity to call the fair catch and field that ball on about the 15-yard line. Don't let the ball bounce and go another 10 yards, and now you've got your offense pinned within your own 5-yard line. So that's a mental error right there. You know, the youth is showing for these Grambling State Tigers.
Here's a little power football formation. Top of the eye is Frank Warren. Got to do this when you've got snapped occurring in your own end zone and nearly a safety. That's a loss of 2. Antoine Mason coming up in the free safety position, a freshman. A lot of those in this game today.
I think what Coach Jones has done for Alcorn State is he motivated his defensive line. When I talked to him at the practice yesterday, he said, yeah, this Grambling line is big, but they're not big and solid. You know, he said they're kind of soft. They're just big bodies. They don't move well. And you can tell by the play of his defensive line. They are taking it to this huge offensive front for Grambling.
That's a nice bit of running that time by Frank Warren, who was the SWAC Freshman of the Year last season, ran for over 900 yards. He found that himself.
I mean, he's getting all his yards the good old-fashioned way. He's earning them, making the first guy miss behind the line of scrimmage and just leaning forward to get there. But offensively, we were so impressed with the size of this Grambling State line, but I've been so unimpressed with their fire off the ball.
Almost looked like a delayed handoff. Get it outside the 5 to the 6-yard line. But when we start the second quarter, punter Desmond Spivey will be standing in an end zone. But he's going to have to go a long way to get to that particular end zone. It's been a defensive battle so far between these traditional rivals, meeting for the 59th time. No score between the Braves and the Tigers. And Alcorn has the possibility of getting some outstanding field position. Heavy hitting. And excitement in Grambling. Second quarter is next. Take a look at the Grambling bench, and Jay Walker, the Grambling offensive line's having a tough time getting out of their own way.
Yeah, they average 325 yards across the line, but they're not even leaning forward. When you're that big, just move forward, and you'll be able to gain 2 or 3 yards a pop. They shouldn't struggle as badly as they have this afternoon.
D. Jarnett standing in Tigers territory and inching up to the 44-yard line. Spivey gets good protection, decent kick. And great coverage, the ball's on the ground. Grambling says they have it. And they do. Biggest break of the game so far for the home team.
Look at Broadway trying to fire up the troops there.
Well, if this doesn't do it, I don't know what will.
Great field positioning. Probably made a poor decision to field that ball there with so many Tigers in close proximity to him. And that ball comes loose, and you know, you don't want to know what happens in that pile. You just don't want to know.
There's a flag then tossed in here at the last second. The fumble was recovered by King Beckwith, who's a senior from Monroe. Now, our referee, George McCullough.
The fumble was recovered by Grambling. After the play was over, personal foul, number 34, on Alcorn, penalty.
Well, I don't know what had to be something said, unless there was something, maybe he persisted in fighting for the football. We'll go back and take a look if we can and try to figure out exactly what was done. Meantime, for the Tigers, incredible field position. They go for it all, and they won't get there. Trying to go to the only experienced receiver from last year. We talked about the youth of the team. We mentioned at the top of the show, Jake. Nick Lewis, the only guy coming back, a receiver with a catch.
And that's what Lewis has to go back and tell his young quarterback, hey, look, throw the ball inbound so I can at least go up and try and make a play. You know, you can't throw a fade route 5 yards outside, out of bounds. So that's that youthfulness, and they've got to take advantage of this. I mean, if they walk away without any points here, it'll be so discouraging to their defensive unit.
Luis Leal is their kicker. He missed one from close range last week in the loss in Reno to Nevada. So they probably need to move the chains a bit to give him a chance. Good looking throw that time, and a fabulous catch. That is Van Phillips, who's starting today in place of the injured Terrence Dunn, a freshman from Irondale, Alabama. Roderick Williams was all over him, and it didn't seem to matter.
And Van Phillips is one of the guys that they said is young, but he's got NFL potential. Look at him go up and grab this throw out of the air, catch the ball as high as point. He's got a good frame, 6'2", 205 pounds. He's a good one. They just said he's young, but he's going to become a great one.
Neither team has been inside the 20 yet in this game. This is the closest anybody has been so far. They're going to get there now with Cornelius Walker, the other half of that fine tailback tandem. Sophomore from Atlanta moves the chains.
Now you see the offensive line starting to get a little spark, trying to handle their business in the trenches. And it's so interesting how special teams can just spark the whole rest of the team. So it looks like the special teams have sparked this Tiger, more importantly, the offensive line for the Tigers. And now they're starting to get a little momentum.
So at the 10-yard line, 11-yard gain that time by Walker. Keep it on the ground, why not? Get a couple more. Again, Walker. And again, Brandon Morris among the tacklers for the Braves.
One of the things that happens to these offenses that like to do these dink and dunk passing routes, they get down in the red zone, they have difficulty scoring because they're not used to going forward. They're always trying to trick you with misdirection and sideline to sideline. So it'll be interesting to see if that big offensive line for Grambling can lean forward and move the pot.
That decision is going to cost him. He might as well have just gone ahead and kept running. Of course, that's easy for me to say. I didn't get nailed by Marcus Cooper and Caesar Cobb, but there was a tiny gap there. I don't know if he would have gone very far, though.
Yeah, you know, once you see that guy get beat, you've got to just set in the pocket and get rid of the football. Don't get sacked down in the red zone. And look at Marcus Cooper blitzing the gap and making him pay for it. I mean, tonight, 20 plays are averaging less than 2 yards a play, and they've given up 2 sacks. And that's just not good offensive football.
And that's with a couple of decent plays on this drive. A couple of plays that worked out for them, 11 or 12-yard gains. 3rd and goal. Forget it. No chance that time. Brandon Morris in that end position. You could see it coming. A 3rd sack for the Braves defense already. And we'll see if Grambling decides to bring out Leal, and they do for the field goal attempt.
Look at Brandon Morris on the left side of your screen, just getting around him. He's got a big body there. What do you do with power? You bring in the speed element, and that's what they've done. Just sprinting around Quentin Roberts like he wasn't even there.
Another true freshman playing just his 2nd college football game. This will be a 40-yard attempt for Leal, who's 0 for 1 on the year. Like that one sounded like it may have been blocked. Thought I heard a 2nd thump in there. And so that doesn't make it. And so a big special teams play doesn't get Grambling in the end zone. They got down to the 8-yard line, but back-to-back sacks did them in. Then the Braves come up with their own big play on special teams.
Men, now you can turn back the clock on your hair.
Defense and special teams telling the story of this game, or is it just bad offense? I'm Dave Lamont along with Jay Walker. And Jay, take a look at the Alcorn offense. Now, we knew last year they struggled, but they put up 28 last week against Southeast Louisiana, but it's a little bit different story here.
And they got off to such a fast start last week against Southeast Louisiana, scoring 14 points on their first 2 possessions. Different week so far, and that's what happens when you get in conference play. Teams know you a little bit better, no element of surprise.
Like some decent penetration by the Tiger defensive line again. Pilcher maybe picked up a yard, but not much there. Keith Hall, a senior from Houston.
After last week's performance, offensively, this team was excited. They said, we're going to go out here, we're going to hang another 35, 40 points on Grambling. That has not been the case, and you got to ask yourself, what's going on? You know, and it's been a different things. You've got a quarterback just throwing the ball up for grabs, offensive line not protecting. They've got to get in gear.
Quick throw here, but a diving catch. Problem, that's a great catch, but very little progress on the play. Maybe 3 yards on the grab by D. Jarnett. Well, neither team is running the ball very well. For the Braves now, 6 carries, 11 yards. And Buckley is 7 of 8, but only for 67 yards.
Wow. Now, as a former quarterback, if I'm throwing the ball that efficiently, getting completion, I'm very disappointed with settling for less than 70 yards throwing the football. Where's the vertical attack? It's there. He had a couple guys open earlier. He just miscued and misfired.
0 out of 3 on 3rd down conversions. Make it 0 for 4. Flag comes in, but a sack by Christian Anthony. Man, he had a strong game for Grambling. Let's see what the penalty is. It's going to be a hold on Alcorn, so that'll be turned down. It'll be time for another punt.
holding. On the offense, number 60, that penalty will be declined. 4th down.
That's that left tackle, Nathan Fears, again going against Christian Anthony. It's the second time he's been beat like that, beat off the ball and caught holding. He's got his hands full.
Well, we have to be honest. We've seen some pretty rough offensive line play. Remember on the last series, back-to-back sacks given up by the Grambling offensive line. Here's a sack that wipes out any chance at a first down. And now field position game apparently will go toward Grambling here again. It's blocked, and here's a chance to, who needs field position? Defense and special teams again. Jeffrey Jack with the touchdown.
Great job by Jeffrey Jack of just blowing up that so-called wedge formation back there for the punt team. And not only did he get the block, but he was rewarded with the touchdown as well.
Do you have Grambling in your SWAC fantasy league this week for defense? Because you'd be doing really well.
I do well. You see Jack there make the block. He didn't even have to lay out to get that block. He was so far in the backfield. And good hands and way to get in the end zone and celebrate to put the Tigers on the board.
They all try to make it 7-zip. And he does. So, dramatic plays, not from the offense, but from the defense and the special teams, putting Grambling in charge here, 7-zip, with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. That's a punch to the gut. We'll see how the Braves respond on offense when we return. Senior from Houston, Jeffrey Jack, who blocked the punt and returned it for the first score of this game. And so far, Jay, it has been all defense and all special teams.
Seems like it's been all Christian Anthony, too, on the defensive side of the ball, playing defensive end, just wreaking havoc on Alcorn State. And special teams has really paid off for the Grambling State Tigers.
And that's a third of the game when you prepare for it. And so far, for both sides. Now, the Braves made a huge gaffe there, but they've also had their good play on special teams. First time for Grambling to kick off. It's almost a straight-ahead kick. Opportunity here, though. Sideline open up just for a second, and a leaping tackle. Chris Morris got flattened that time. What a solid tackle by Toby Mott.
This is what we're talking about. Christian Anthony just getting it done, beating his man on the left side, coming around there causing havoc for Alcorn State, getting the sack, and then special teams kicking in. Jack comes in there unblocked, makes the block for the touchdown and the score. And special teams, hey, when it's not working on offense, you got to win all three facets of the game, and the special teams and the defense for Grambling's been getting it done.
Well, with the sacks now, Alcorn's in the negative yardage, and you see what's hurt them also, penalties. I mean, you name it, and it's gone poorly for them. Not that Grambling's offense has been a whole lot better. And a solid hit that time. Again, Keith Hall has had a couple of good tackles, that time getting the quarterback Buckley. But he did get like almost 4 yards on that play out to the 30-yard line.
Keith Hall, that senior outside linebacker, it will be very difficult to outrun him. He's one of those smaller linebackers, 6'2", 225 pounds, but he can fly. So if Buckley's going to run, you may want to run away from Keith Hall.
It's just very hard. The one thing I've noticed, Jay, is it's been hard for either quarterback just to step back and look at his receivers and throw the ball. Good little use of the fake handoff that time. Gets Buckley beat up a bit, but also gets him a 3rd down and 1 coming up. Multiple Grambling tacklers in there that time. Again, Jeffrey Jack's name's certainly going to get called. Lance Castleberry was around there too.
Back to your point of why it's been hard for them to find any rhythm. One, they're young quarterbacks. I think they're struggling reading the coverage. And 2, they're not getting any protection at all. And look at this.
And they're not getting a first down either. Flag is down as well.
When you talk about horrendous line play, when you can't lean forward, you lose yardage on a quarterback sneak.
Let's see where this flag is. Oh, maybe the Braves will get a break.
Number 90 on defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, Christian Anthony is not perfect.
And that's a costly one there because you put Alcorn in a position where they were probably going to have to pump the football back to you. Now you give them a first down and you give them a spark of confidence, which they didn't have.
But they need something, there's no doubt, whether it's a penalty or anything. You can't be choosy at this point if you're Ernest Jones in this offense.
Get it any way you can.
And he knows offense, so he played with Steve McNair. They pitched it all over the place, and he was receiving quite a few of those touchdowns, and we're going to have another penalty here, and I think it's going to be on Anthony. Now, whose fault is it really?
Prior to the snap, false start, number 72, on Alcorn, 5-yard penalty, replay it down.
Well, giving Matthew Hooper the senior tackle to break is Jerry Salas, the freshman tackle, and he's the one called for that mistake. It's 1st and 15. Antoine Young in the backfield for the first time, 24. There's a chance to set up and throw long, but he overthrows his man badly. Copeland with the interception and a little bit of room to work. Sidelines open, got some great blocks. Flag down. Copeland looked like he ran a little bit out of gas around the 35-yard line, but there was a flag down at about the 49, and Buckley was one of the tacklers. That would be a 47-yard return, but it's not going to be, is it?
We have an interception on the play, doing the run back, blocking the back, number 65 on Grambling, 10 yards from the father foul, first down Grambling.
But still, doesn't take away the interception.
We saw this coming, didn't we? I mean, we talked about how the fact that Buckley had been throwing the ball up for grabs. Sooner or later, you're going to have to pay the price. Another ill-advised throw. Just throwing this ball up for grabs, not protecting the football. Easy over-the-shoulder interception by Copeland there. And I like how he became aggressive after he got the interception. I mean, who's he throwing the ball to? There's no Alcorn State wide receiver within 15 yards of that pass, and that was a gimme for Nigel Copeland. And if Buckley keeps making decisions like that, I would not be surprised if you saw Tony Hobson, the senior, enter this game more sooner rather than later.
And Melvin Matthews was in putting a lot of pressure on Buckley. He was coming up from his tackle position. Only 5 seconds to get this snap off. And Grambling tries it. Now that is not a lateral. It is not a backward pass in my opinion. Batiste just dropped the ball, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10. Now, we've been kind of ripping on Alcorn for a little bit on offense. Wait just a minute. Grambling's had their problems too tonight.
Yeah, I mean, plays like this, not like they're, executing their offense as well. They've struggled as well. And, one of the things about these spread formations, that's got to be a staple play. You have to be able to execute that little swing pass with your eyes closed.
Dillon's 4 for 7, 24 yards. Changing the play here. That's Warren at the tailback spot. On the draw, a little hole opened up, but closed quickly when Marcus Cooper came in to make the stop.
You can tell now the chess match that's going on. They realize they're struggling moving the ball, throwing the ball, so they're going to make Dillon their running game. He's been one of their better runners this evening.
3rd and long. 0 out of 5 the Tigers are in 3rd down. The play clock not an issue here, so Grambling does not have to hurry. Good little pad up. Now, let me ask you this, Jay. Is that the fault of the quarterback or the fault of the receiver?
Quarterback.
Okay.
You got to put that ball on him. When you've got a receiver running a 5-yard in route, you got to stick it right on him because that safety's going to come up, try and make a knockout blow there, and he threw the ball behind him. But just that rhythm of the passing game is not there, and both offenses continue to look bad. I mean, to be honest, this is just ugly offensive football, and they got a turnover, and they come out 3 and out. How about your defense?
Well, I'll tell you what, the excitement has come on plays like this. Punts. And DJ Arnett, let's see what he does with this one. Calls for the fair catch, makes a heck of a nice catch at the 25-yard line, going full speed, and that's what the Braves will start their offense, or try to get their offense started. I get your weekly dose of NFL news and analysis on ESPN Sunday, first at 11 a.m. Eastern. Chris Berman hosts Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM with analysts Mike Ditka, Tom Jackson, Steve Young, Chris Carter, and Keyshawn Johnson. Then at 7 Eastern, it's Boomer again and John Saunders delivering today's highlights and scores during SportsCenter. Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM and SportsCenter on ESPN Sunday. So they go to the ground, and they go to the ground. There's nothing going in there, and Tony Hobson is in the game at quarterback. It's not his fault that Devarius Pilcher lost 5 yards. In the meantime, we take a look at J.P. Tillman, the redshirt sophomore from Houston. So the coaches have had enough.
They've had enough. Both of the backups are coming in there. It seems like they're going to yank both starting pitchers, bring in the middle relief, and hopefully that's long-term relief. And you just saw it coming. With the decision-making that Buckley was doing, you had to pull him out. You can miss a pass because of accuracy. When you're not reading coverages, you got to go.
Now, he can't take it. This is a nice-looking play here. This is the best pass play that the Braves have had so far. Nicely tucked underneath. And that is Edward Johnson on the catch, and a good gain out to the 38, maybe even the 39-yard line.
So interesting how much you can learn from the sideline when the other quarterback is messing up. Take a look at a crossing route, hit him in stride. That's what I like. Hit the guy in stride so he can pick up those yards after catch, or those yak yards, and allow the playmakers to make plays.
Castleberry on the stop. They do mark it at the 39. The longest pass play for Alcorn, and that time he doesn't hit anybody in stride. Second down and 10. Johnson again, the intended receiver.
Let's take a good look at Tony Hobson. Big kid, 6'3", where Buckley's a shorter guy, but 6'3", 208 pounds. The senior from Jackson, Mississippi, and he's coming here and his leadership is being thrown into the fire.
Had one pass attempt last week, and they lost to Southeastern Louisiana and completed it for 1 yard.
Came in here, hit his first pass, so 2 for 3 on the season.
Flag coming in there behind the play, almost certainly in that area where the umpire calls holding. So a gain of 3. Derek Johnson in on the stop, the middle linebacker from Monroe, Louisiana. And confirmed.
Holding. On the white. Offense. 66. 10 yards. Previous spot. Replay it down.
Although there was a holding call there, I don't like the decision by Hobson to tuck and run that ball so fast. You don't want to get in the habit of just looking at the line, and look at Alcorn State, what they're doing. Wow, are the penalty yards winning yet? Nah, but it's close. Give them another couple plays, they'll take the lead.
Second and very long. No chance that time for Hudson to throw that football. Not a lot of gain, only maybe a yard. Johnson on the catch. Seems that those two have something going here because he's looked at him now 3 times.
Yeah, he's managed to get the football to him, but as he delivered that ball, he took a knock right there. So although you got a quarterback coming in with a hotter hand, the offensive line will still continue for the Braves.
Make it 3rd down and 18. Neither team has hit a 3rd down yet. A combined 0 for 11. Taking a chance this, and that should have been caught, and it is, but by the wrong team. And the Tigers will get it to the 23-yard line as Kenneth Anio Jr., the senior from Jackson, Louisiana, got a gift.
I mean, he got beat. That was his man that dropped the ball. He was in the trail position here. You take a look here as Hobson looks back and delivers a strike. I mean, you said it right. You got to catch this ball. I mean, that ball's right there, a little behind, but Anio was beaten. Good reaction by the defensive back, the senior. How did he miss this ball here? I mean, slightly behind.
A little bit, but still hit him in the hands. I mean, that's, you know.
You catch that 9 out of 10 times. And what's more disappointing, if you're Hobson, that's your go-to guy. That was Edward Johnson that dropped that ball for you. So now who do you go to?
And now Grambling has a new quarterback. J.P. Tillman is in. And he'll hand it off to Cornelius Walker. You see big bodies for that Grambling line pushing Braves for a 5-yard gain. 2nd down and 5 coming up. All right, now J.P. Tillman got a chance to play a little bit against the Wolfpack out of Reno. Threw a couple of passes, none of those complete. He's a transfer, had been at Missouri.
I mean, he's one that the coaching staff, they like him. They say, hey, he's a guy who can come in and do it. And he was going to play in this game regardless. So although Dillon came out and struggled, he might have got the hook early, but Tillman was going to get some reps in this game.
And he gets him in great field position. Nice little pass there, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Tigers, the 10-yard line. Catch made by Nick Lewis, the experienced receiver on this Tiger team. And Grambling making the big plays. They've had a block punt for a touchdown and now 2 interceptions. And they may be able to cash in on this one.
It seems like Tillman's giving them a little bit of a spark. And more importantly, some type of rhythm on the offense. I mean, that last play was a perfectly executed pass. 12-yard out route, he delivered it right on the number. So maybe Tillman's got the ability to come in here and calm him down.
He also had time to throw it.
He did.
Time here also goes underneath, and there's Batiste inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. And they talked about ETN makes the stop. They want Batiste to get a lot of touches.
Yeah, he's one of those exciting playmakers they have, and just like the rest of this offense, he's just a baby. He's a freshman, but he's one of the guys that line him up at the slot. He may touch the ball as a running back in this game. He's just that Mr. Excitement for the Grambling State Tigers.
Coaches told us that redshirt freshman Batiste, so he was around last year but did not play, and he had the best camp of anybody on this roster by far. Goes to his second read, and that is almost intercepted. Looked like he was trying to find the fullback coming out of the backfield, but he was covered. And then went underneath to Donnell, the tight end, and that didn't work either, as you saw. So brings up 3rd down and goal.
Take a look at him. Look on the left. He's going to lock in to his fullback on the left side. Down here, you can't afford to go all the way back. If you're going to hit that pass, you got to throw it on that backside shoulder. So Tillman was very fortunate that ball was not picked off.
Pumps once, wide open,
nice.
Touchdown! That is Donnell, the junior from Ozark, Alabama. And finally, the Grambling offense gets points on the board.
Wow, great job by J.P. Tillman to move the linebacker out of space and help free up the tight end for the touchdown score.
Leal on to try to make it 14-0. He did not. So the Braves defense beginning to weaken just a little bit. How long can they keep pushing that boulder up the hill?
Yeah, man, take a look at Tillman. Look at him, look him off to the left. Pump fake right there with that shoulder. Freezes the linebacker, Marcus Cooper, allows Larry Donnell to get wide open. Just that little pump hitch. Froze the linebacker, created some extra space. Easy throw by J.P. Tillman.
Well, if you're the Braves and you are Dino Dawson, the offensive coordinator, you're having a hard time getting going. Where do you go? Who do you go to? Or what kind of plays do you call to get some kind of a fire lit here with 3:38 to go in this half?
I think you realize that your quarterbacks aren't going to have enough time to throw the football. So what you do is you challenge your offensive line. You tell them, hey, right now we're going to pound the football. Let's start with the running game. You know, we can't throw the football because we don't have protection. Maybe we can just run the football to get something going. And you just want to play, more importantly, 1 first down at a time. So often the team will get down and they'll try and make it all up in one play. You can't make up 13 points on one series, so just play 1 first down at a time.
See if they get decent field position off the kickoff. And they will do all right with that to the 29-yard line. Chris Morris, the junior from Dallas, Texas, the transfer from Central Michigan, a former Chippewa on that return. But Grambling, all of a sudden now, they look like a completely different football team. They have taken the inspiration from the block punt and from the interceptions.
And they got that momentum, and now they're playing like the home team. They came out and played like they were on the road somewhere and they didn't get off the bus. But now they've got the crowd into it, and the defense is back on the field, and the defense has really jump-started this offense because the offense came out flat, but the defense picked them up.
And Timothy Buckley is back out on the field, so Tony Hobson had a series, didn't look all that bad, but maybe that was planned also. And we have a flag before anything ever gets started.
Practice snap. False start. Number 66 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. We play first down.
Procedure penalty makes it now 1st and 15 for the Braves. Ball spotted at the.
One of the things we talked about in the open was how would the defense respond after giving up 629 yards last week to Nevada. Well, I think they've answered the call.
Well, that's not Nevada, pardon me, out there, though. That pistol offense that works so well for the Wolfpack. Flags down again. This is a first down if it holds up. That's a great catch by Chris Williams. But there was a flag that came from the line judge. And he's pointing toward the Braves. Yep, an eligible ban.
Wow.
Or illegal participation. Let's see.
Yeah. An illegal receiver downfield. Number 15, he was covered up by the wide receiver. He could not go downfield. 5 yards, previous foul.
And you know what I see happening now? It seems like this is their first game. You know, they're making the type of mistakes that you expect to see week 1. Now, they played a game last week, and the mistakes they're making, these are mental errors, just not getting your feet properly. And calls like this, with all these penalties, the numbers that they have in the first half, it just seems like last week wasn't even played, and they're just coming off playing their first game, and that's got to be very disheartening to head coach Ernest Jones.
Put Buckley in there, again. Empty. Trying to do things quickly here. The clock beginning to become an issue. That's a solid catch by Edward Johnson, who's really all of a sudden become the main guy for the Braves on offense on the receiving end of it.
And you can see why they like Buckley. In his last 2 throws, he's thrown some darts. Very accurate pass, hit the wide receiver in the numbers. And he's got upside. If they can just figure out a way to protect him, he can get the job done.
Yeah, the funny thing is the numbers don't look that bad. Now, that one interception, that was pretty tough. The other interception that happened to Hobson. But the numbers aren't clearly telling the story here. The one that matters most is that 0 on the scoreboard. And a big miscommunication there. And to tell you what, if Anio had been paying attention to the football and not DeJarnette, he could have had another pick and maybe a touchdown.
Grambling State bought pressure, and as a cornerback, you've got to know that your team is bringing a blitz. Take a quick peek in the backfield. They may get to him, and you'll see here, once the pressure comes, Buckley decides, I'm getting rid of this ball right now. And Anio started to jump there, but
yeah, that might have been, you know what, if he had gone for that football, probably would have been interference. And that was Christian Anthony again, putting pressure on the quarterback, unblocked.
It looks like a man amongst boys in the first half.
And that pass was only toward Edward Johnson. Good coverage that time. Anio again, he's becoming a big factor. They're throwing to his side of the field. He's already picked off one pass, and the Braves are going to have to punt now. 2:45 to go, and Grambling has all of their timeouts.
Yeah, poor decision. I think what you have to do in this case, offensively, you're not going to change anything in the first half. Run some of that time off the clock. Be fortunate to go in down 13-0, but now you're giving Grambling an opportunity to get the ball back and possibly put some more points on the board.
Lufkin only averaged 30 yards per punt. And this is a great return here for Grambling and Thompson. And he sort of ran out of his own legs. And he's down at the 43-yard line. But excellent field position for the Tigers, who came alive in the second quarter after an indifferent first quarter offensively. They've got great field position and all of their timeouts.
One of these pizzas won't leave your wallet out empty. For fresh delivery taste without the delivery price, it's DiGiorno.
Look, the mountains on this Coors Light cold-activated bottle turned blue and the beer is cold. How can you tell your beer is cold without it?
I can't.
Go to directtv.com/gameplan.
And it's J.P. Tillman getting the football again for the Tigers. Now, we did know he was going to play behind Greg Dillon, and he did lead them to a touchdown with a nice strike to Larry Donnell. Big opportunity here, Jay, for Grambling to really seize this game by the throat. Good execution underneath to Batiste, and you see the playmaking ability. Oh, what a run this is to the 39-yard line before Josh Cragen brought him down.
I like the decision making by the quarterback, J.P. Tillman. Just look how quickly he makes his decision. Look, I'm getting rid of the ball, get the ball to a guy in space, and let the playmakers make it happen. 2 defenders had an opportunity to bring him down. 3, 4 different defenders could have made the tackle. Finally, Josh Cragen got it done, but good decision by J.P. Tillman.
In trouble, and he makes another good decision.
You can tell he's got a nice feel for the game right now. And his decision making, hey, it's not there. Let me hurry up and get rid of the football. So Tillman's come in here and provided some leadership. And he's a transfer from the University of Missouri, and he's got some skills. He's got some tools there. And showing some leadership right now.
Going for it all right here. And just overthrew his man. Good coverage that time by Roderick Williams. Absolutely stride for stride with Nick Lewis.
And Roberts played a pretty good first half thus far. You talk about how you play man-to-man coverage. This is what you have to use. Use the sideline. Start riding that guy. You see him riding him and look for the football. And I don't know if you can play much better coverage than that.
And the nice part about that is the official kept the flag in his pocket where it belonged.
Let him play.
Exactly. 3rd and 10. Tillman, ooh, boy, he got bent really hard and lost the football. Hopefully he's okay and he bounces back up. Man, that was a scary looking hit. Frank Warren fell on the football for the Tigers to avoid a disaster. And it'll be 4th down and long, but he just sort of disappeared in that pile.
Yeah, he acted like the blitz wasn't coming, like he had all day. And, you know, once they're bringing that pressure on, you got to have a mental clock to go off to say, okay, my read's not here, let me get rid of it. Very fortunate that they recovered that ball. Timothy Lewis among those putting the pressure at that time on J.P. Tillman. So what you're watching Grambling do here, just setting up for their punt. Clock stopped at 1:24. Tillman's a big boy, isn't he? Yep. I mean, 6'3", 240, and I don't know if those are rib pads or not. But wow, these quarterbacks get bigger and bigger, don't they? He's got a ways to go to catch up to his offensive line, though. Lee Jarnett standing back now. The sun just about completely gone here on a gorgeous day in Grambling, Louisiana. Folks here got a little tired of the rain earlier in the week. Not a drop in sight today. And they take a delay of game penalty. Take a look at Coach Rob Broadway there on the sideline. I mean, what a job he's done here at Grambling. Rebuilding year definitely, but the fact that last year came in and they won the Western Division of the SWAC Conference and raised the level of expectation again. But it's always tough to coach here. Well, they are expected to win that West one more time. Fair catch in traffic. And T. Jarnett, I'll tell you what, you know, sometimes people get up and walk away for a punt or they're about to reach for the remote. Yeah, don't do it if you see anything in punt formation today, all right? Don't do it. Well, Monday Night Football, what a night this ought to be. The Vikings and the Packers, 7 o'clock. Adrian Peterson, the debut of Aaron Rodgers, and then a doubleheader because it's the first Monday of the year. The Broncos and the Raiders. How much will Darren McFadden get the football? That'll keep me up late on Monday night. Look at Peterson last year. Wow. I've never seen a guy run so angry. He just runs the ball like he's angry and has a chip on his shoulder with speed and power. Trying to get something done here, and that was almost a lucky break as Chris Williams couldn't hang on to it. What I'm wondering is, you had a punt return, almost fumbled the ball. What's going to convince this team to take a knee and get into halftime? 36 seconds left. You know what, that might do it if I were running the offense, and I'm no expert, but yeah, you hand it off maybe. Lick your chops, get there at halftime, and come out to live the fight in the second half. See, I don't agree with trying to go for it right now with 36. Particularly since your offense has not been that crisp. However, Buckley, look out, who else but Anthony? You know, he got away. That's a great play before Jeffrey Jack finally put him down to the ground, but Anthony had him wrapped up. It would have been another big tackle for Anthony, and timeout is called. Anthony on the tackle. And it's taken by Grambling. Yeah, they want to force him to punt again, but take a look here. I mean, quarterback taking unnecessary hits right now. You got to get rid of the football. Then, once you decide to run, get down. You know, you're taking all these bruises on your body. It's a long football season. This is only week 2. You've got more games coming up. And I just don't agree with putting your quarterback in that vulnerable position with 36 seconds left. And it's obvious to everybody in this stadium you're not going to score before the half. Well, it's 3rd down, and they've got 6. Now, if they get the first down, I think the half's over. But Grambling's thinking, wait a minute, we've already blocked one punt. If we can get a stop here and force a 4th down, and Alcorn has not hit a 3rd down yet, they are 0 for 7. So here's Alcorn, small campus in Mississippi, of course known for Steve McGear, Donald Driver, and Lem Barney. Man, what a ball. Got to correct that one because I don't want these Jackson State fans mad at me. Oh, okay. Lem Barney went to Jackson State, but you still talk about, you know, Alcorn with Steve McNair. That's definitely Steve's house down there. I can't remember too many small college players that were as hyped as him, and it just came out of nowhere like a dust bowl rolling in from miles away. Going for it all right here on 3rd down, throwing into coverage, and almost caught. So that almost worked, as crazy as it sounds. Nigel Copeland, who has an interception already, was among those on the coverage for Grambling. And they went to Elliott Moore, the senior from Jackson, Mississippi, but it is 4th down. The clock is stopped, and there are 20 seconds. And this was a predetermined call. Go ahead, throw it downfield. If they pick it off, it's just like a long punt anyway. So go ahead, try and force it in there amongst 2 defenders. And had they got the interception, it would have worked out just like a punt. Pretty good kick this time by Olski.
Little room to work, though. Goes to the outside. It's open. And the Tigers are going to get field position in Alcorn territory as Kiari Thompson, the sophomore from Sacramento, California. But there's a flag down at around the 48-yard line.
There've been flags all night.
4 seconds left, so there's not much that the Tigers can do. And let's see where this flag takes the football, too.
McLaurin and Arsenal on the tackle for the Alcorn Braves.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 76 on Alcorn, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, now, you could try a long field goal here, or now you don't have to throw a Hail Mary. You can run a real play.
Whatever you do, just make sure you take a shot at the end zone with 3 seconds left. So many times we see young kids decide to come out and throw the ball before the goal line.
But the impact of special teams, the return yardage is almost equal to the offensive total yards. So J.P. Tillman will get one shot to the end zone here.
Hey,
In traffic and knocked away. That would have been deadly for Alcorn State had that happened for Grambling, but a nice play by Idley Etienne, the senior from Miami. Coming up at halftime, Dr. Lou talks with Bobby Bowden, discusses missing a game due to a child's birth and the headache of being a Notre Dame fan. And we'll have our second half when we return.
The Southwestern Athletic Conference is dedicated to offering challenging educational opportunities to
Our score, 13-0 Grambling State over Alcorn State in a game dominated by the Tigers defense. Dave Lamont with Jay Walker. And Jay, a lot of talk about the possibility of a lot of offense in this game. Alcorn feeling good about themselves, scoring 28 last week, but they've slipped into some bad habits, and the Grambling defense and special teams really dominated that first half.
It makes you wonder how Alcorn was able to score 28 points last week. This week they've come out in the first half and they've been just so flat, completely flat, getting dominated in the trenches. You've got the Grambling State defensive line just getting to the quarterback at will, it seems like, and they just have not been able to find any type of offensive rhythm. Take a look here. You see a ball coming right here, just a poorly thrown ball. They did not protect the football, throwing the ball into no man's land. Grambling able to come up with the interception and capitalize. And then here, this is the wide receiver. Ball that's easily catchable, picked off by the Grambling State Tigers. So offensively, Alcorn State has played just horrible. And on special teams, it's not any better. Punt being blocked, Grambling able to take it in for the easy score.
And the numbers sometimes lie, they don't here. Now the rush yards for Alcorn in the mind, the sacks count there. But as big as anything, poor third down conversions for both teams. And how about the penalty yards for the Braves?
93 yards worth of penalties just in one half. If you get that for a game, sometimes that happens. But for one half, 93 yards worth of penalty, that's not going to get it done. If they don't figure out a way to stop making these mental errors, it's going to get uglier here for Alcorn State tonight.
All right, let's figure out a way. What do they have to do?
Well, you come out and you tell somebody, stop cheating. You know, basically when you get penalties, you're cheating. Come out, block your man, do your responsibility, and everybody hanging there together, one first down at a time. And as badly as they've played, they're only down by 13 points. They can get right back in this football game if they slow down and find some type of offensive rhythm.
Now, it's not as if Grambling's offense has been that good either. They do have the one touchdown on the pass to Donnell, but what can they do better?
Well, I think what they have to do is protect the football. You have to play like you do have the lead. You're up by 13. Don't come out with a silly turnover. Allow your defense to continue to dominate. Make sure that Alcorn has to drive the length of the field as opposed to just turning the ball over, allowing Alcorn to have a short field to work with.
See what happens in the second half. And don't forget, you can get your weekly dose of NFL news and analysis on ESPN Sunday. First at 11 a.m. Eastern, Chris Berman hosts Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM. With analysts Mike Ditka, Tom Jackson, Steve Young, Chris Carter, and Keyshawn Johnson. Then at 7 Eastern, Chris Berman and John Saunders deliver the day's highlights and scores during SportsCenter. Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM and SportsCenter on ESPN Sunday. Grambling in front 13-0 in the 59th meeting between these two SWAC rivals. Can the Braves find their offense? We'll all find out together when the third quarter begins shortly. our score and time. Unfortunately, the beauty of the moon has not been matched by the Alcorn State offense, Jay. And they've got to find a way. They're going to get the football here first. And if I were them, I'd be anxious to get the ball, anxious to show that they can play better than they did.
I really do believe that great coaching occurs in the locker room at halftime. Halftime adjustments. What can you do, one, schematically to get your team back in, and two, motivationally. How do you motivate your team to get back in this contest? To me, that's the mark of a good coach.
Ernest Jones, his second game as the first-year head coach for the Braves. Short kickoff. That's taken by Chris Morris. Excellent coverage again. I tell you what, the Grambling special teams been the real wild card of this game. As that time, Jamel Moran made the stop on that. Beautifully done.
And special teams is all about desire. Who wants it more? You know, there's nothing schematically what you can do. Go down, get the football. When a guy's running the ball, put a wallop on him and make him pay, so he thinks about not running at your side next time around.
Now, both teams have used their quarterbacks, their two quarterbacks. Timothy Buckley started, and he'll get the chance to ignite an offense that had more penalty yards than total yards. That's not going to be any way to get it ignited.
Guess who made that play?
Well, it's got to be only one man. I could have done that with my eyes closed if you'd asked me that question. Christian Anthony, who was the dominant player in the first half.
Now you're seeing his motor. You can't get to the quarterback, quick release, get airborne. That's what you're taught to do from a defensive line standpoint. If you're not going to make the sack, when the quarterback cocks his arm back, get airborne. Good job by Christian Anthony.
You see what he's done in the first half, and now this one right here.
Something tells me we're not done hearing from Christian Anthony.
He had 5 tackles and a fumble recovery in the loss at Nevada last Saturday. Good execution on this one. Not a whole lot for yard. Good extra pickup of maybe 6 there for Alcorn. Keith Hall in on the stop.
That's one of the things you can do to slow down a pass rush that's been coming hard and heavy. Go to the 3-step drop game or the quick passing game where your quarterback's not forced to hold on to the football and he can just deliver the ball quickly.
That is middle linebacker Derek Johnson, the junior from Monroe, Louisiana. First time we've seen the Traders come out on the field tonight to attend to an injured player.
And that's what one of those injuries they can't afford to have. We talked about how they wanted to lean on the experience of their defense. Well, Johnson, the junior linebacker, he's backed up by a freshman. So very important that they can try and get Derek Johnson healthy. And for the sake of Grambling fans, let's hope he's going to be okay.
That freshman, by the way, Cliff Exama from North Miami Beach, a redshirt freshman who played just a little bit. Well, it's so funny. You know, talking to Rod Broadway, he was obviously frustrated about the game at Nevada, the trip, the whole bit. They pick up a little bit of money, yes. They pick up a bad beating, too. But I guess this team did not get shaken too badly by this, particularly a defense that surrendered over 600 yards.
They're playing like last week didn't even happen. And that's the mark of another good coach.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to play it one weekend at a time, and it seems like the Grambling defense has risen to the challenge. Broadway, he had some interesting things to say about going on the road and taking some of those money games.
Not a big fan of it.
Not a big fan of it.
0 out of 8 in third down for the Braves tonight. Last week they hit half of them. And they're going to hit this one. First third down conversion of the night. Chris Williams gets the honor. Tackle made there by Keith Hall.
It all started with the protection. The quarterback had time to get comfortable in the pocket and deliver the ball to the wide receiver crossing the formation.
Exactly what Alcorn needed more than anything else. The perfect gift. Just get a first down.
If you get 1 first down, then you can get 2. If you get 2, you can get 3.
Only 5 so far in this game. And only 6 for Grambling, by the way. Will he scramble? He's going to have, no, he's not even going to get a chance to do that. Flag comes in just as the whistles come in from the line judge. He ate that one. I mean, I thought for a second he might have an inch of running room, and boy, did it close, and it's a holding call, too, against Alcorn.
Yeah, 2 questions. Could he have gotten rid of the ball? And 2, the decision to run.
No one can hear the referee, by the way. It's not any problem with your television. It's not even on in the stadium. And it was Kendall Robinson and Christian Anthony, again, in there causing trouble.
And once that happens as a quarterback, once you avoid that first sack, you should be looking to get rid of the ball right away. You know, you don't take sacks in that situation there. But just as we thought they were starting to figure out some ways to protect the quarterback, we see once again the Grambling still bringing the pressure with the front four.
Now Rob Broadway, I think, wants this penalty. He's about an eighth of the way out on the field. I think he wanted to back him up 10 yards, or maybe he was angry that the down marker said first down instead of second.
I don't know too many coaches that turn down holding penalty.
He did. He'll take the play instead and go second and long.
No, I think he's arguing, saying, "Hey, we wanted to take it."
Well, I think I know exactly what his anger is directed to, and that was the spot of the football and the fact that they were lining up with 10 yards to go and not 13 yards to go, and now they're going to line up with third down and about 14 yards to go for a first down.
Yeah, he's still upset about that call there. He understands the importance of the situation. He doesn't want to give Alcorn State a chance to get back in this game by picking up a first down and keeping their offense on the field.
Well, the execution collapsing again as Kendall Robinson got in one more time for the Tigers. And I don't know what play you can dial up now if you're Alcorn. They've tried to throw it deep. It hasn't worked. They've gone underneath. It hasn't worked that much. And Buckley's had a hard time running the ball. Throws it into traffic and nearly intercepted. That's T.J. McCord from the free safety position. Junior from 8 Mile, Alabama on the coverage, and nearly a third interception for the Tiger defense. So the guy who's probably gotten more camera time than almost any other Brave today, Alexander Olfke, their punter.
Hey, McCord, you got to come away with that interception. That could have been almost a game-clinching interception here early in the third quarter.
Thompson with a fair catch. Great field position at the 37-yard line. You see him hang his head. He knew after he caught it that he had room to run.
And now the youthfulness of the Grambling Tigers starting to show in plays like that, mental errors.
Well, we are at Eddie Robinson Stadium here in Grambling, Louisiana. There's no way you can think of college football without thinking of Eddie Robinson, who coached here from 1941 to 1997. 408 victories. 408 wins, only 165 losses and 15 ties. A career that spanned 11 presidents, 17 SWAC titles, and 9 national black college championships. And has one of only 2 numbers retired here. Tank Younger's 22 is the other one, but it's impossible. You can still feel his presence here after all those years. Passed away last year, and everywhere you walk around here, J.P. Tillman stays in at quarterback, by the way. Everywhere you go here, and you think of the men who played for him and the men that went on to become Hall of Famers in professional football, and Eddie Robinson touched a lot of lives.
Robinson on the tackle.
This is a popular way to call plays now. You notice to run everybody to the line and then stop everything. Get your signal. One-on-one, going to the tight end. Flag down, it doesn't matter. Donnell trying to break free. And finally wrestled down at the 20-yard line. A 41-yard catch. Hall was on the coverage. Now, he's not real happy with the call. I can tell you by the reaction of the Alcorn defensive backs. This is pass interference and will be denied. How about sending the tight end deep?
Officials' mic still not working, but you can tell they knew they had a matchup problem there. And this is just one of those old balls like you play 3 flies up, just throw it up, and who wants it more? Looks like the coverage was there. We saw, obviously, plenty of contact before the ball got there, but was there a little push in the back? I don't know. It looked like he might have snuck it in there quickly enough where the official couldn't see it.
So from the 20-yard line, the Tigers, their offense wasn't much better than the Braves, and they're going to call a timeout here. So some
they got lucky. That center snapped the ball.
Big time confusion there. But J.P. Tillman did the prudent thing. Grambling in great field position, threatening to blow this game open, up by 13 at home.
Ready for everyone.
See if Grambling got their signals straight this time. And you're right, if that timeout signal from Tillman is a half a second late, he's a target because that ball was loose. play conservatively on the ground. Man, did Cornelius Walker take a shot. He tried to fool the officials by bouncing up because he hit the ground so quickly. And we have a Brave player down on the field.
Unfortunately, the guys are starting to go down. That's Josh Craig, and the outside linebacker for Alcorn State, down on the ground. But, you know, when you come to this stadium, you got to talk about Eddie Robinson, and we talked about the tribute that he's done and everything he meant to not just black college football. One of the things I don't like is he gets labeled just with black college. Eddie Robinson was probably one of the proudest Americans you'd ever meet in your lifetime. Everything was all about America. Great place to live, great place to grow up, and all the opportunities that you have. And I really like seeing the shirt they have that they go around here with the number one. You know, Eddie Robinson had one wife, he had one job, he coached at one college. There's only one Eddie Robinson. And as long as they're playing football here in Grambling, Louisiana, that shadow is going to stay over whoever's on the sideline, whether it be Doug Williams, Melvin Spears, or Raw Broadway. This is and always will be the house that Eddie Robinson built.
And the talent that he coached and the talent that he attracted here and the men he turned out as men, not just football players, but take a look at that foursome right there. Willie Brown, Buck Buchanan, Willie Davis, and Charlie Joyner, who came here along with so many others. Doug Williams is the name that, of course, he coached here and was a brilliant quarterback in the National Football League and a Super Bowl winner. Yeah, this is it's exciting to be here and to feel that presence. Screen and well set up. Great tackle from behind and maybe a saver by Lee Robinson. That was a beautiful play by Robinson because that was one of the best executed plays of the night by either team.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You have to say the best play has been a screen, but look at the timing on this one. Let one guy get upfield, beat you upfield. He thinks he beat you, and then a good job of setting up the blocks by Walker, allowing the folks to get out there and get a body on the body. And you're right, if Lee Robinson had not made that tackle from behind, Walker would have walked into the end zone.
That was great closing speed that time by Robinson. He just put on a burst to make that stop. Got 10 seconds to get this play off. Cross is open. Wrestling match for the end zone, and it's a touchdown. The strength of Larry Donnell. The second time he's been in the end zone tonight.
They label Larry Donnell a tight end, but he seems to do his most damage when he's out there flanked out one-on-one, taking advantage of the matchups and the speed and the strength. He goes 6'5", 225 pounds, and watch him body up. I like the decision, get rid of it quickly, and look at him. When you're 6'5", 220, you don't go down easily. Just start leaning forward, and the great ones know where that end zone is. Larry Donnell knew where the end zone was.
His second touchdown of the night. He only had one catch last week, but he's been a significant contributor this evening. We have a Alcorn player down, and looks like it might be Cordera Hall. That is the sophomore from Rosedale, Mississippi.
He was a cornerback that had to guard Larry Donnell on that last touchdown, so looks like he might have got a cramp there.
Well, how about J.P. Tillman in relief of Greg Dillon? 7 of 11, 94 yards, and now 2 touchdown passes to Donnell.
You think there's a quarterback controversy brewing here early in the season?
Would you want to start one?
Well, we talked about that with Broadway yesterday, and he said, I believe in competition every week of the season. So the best man's going to play, and J.P. Tillman looks like he's trying to get a stranglehold on this starting quarterback job.
1 for 2 here. Trying to make it 21, a little bit short. So Grambling has missed 2-point after touchdowns, but they have built a 19-point lead with 10:23 to go. And if you're Alcorn State, you take a deep breath and realize the hole that you've dug with your offense has gotten even bigger because of the Grambling offense. And a sharp pass, and the winner of the wrestling match, Larry Donnell.
It's been called just Price.
Take a look at the Grambling bench, a little bit happier now. J.P. Tillman, number 17, the redshirt sophomore, transferred from the University of Missouri, and he has stepped in for Greg Dillon, who was a bit ineffective. There was a time early in this game, Jay, when Grambling couldn't move the ball. Now they can.
He came in and definitely provided the spark, and it wasn't all the physical throws he was making. It was the mental management of the football, protecting the football, controlling the tempo of the game. He's really come in here and done some good things for Coach Rob Broadway, and especially for offensive coordinator James Spady. And, you know, you got to think, it's early in the season. Is this going to be your long-term plan at the quarterback position?
For the Braves, they have had a tough time trying to get anywhere on kickoff returns with D. Jarnett and Morris. Grambling has covered them well. There's one way not to worry about it. You get great field position off of the penalty.
You've got an offense that's been struggling to move the ball all night. Why give them an extra yard? You've got to keep that ball in play.
You know what, though? Do you play golf?
Yes, but I don't shank them like that.
I was going to say, though.
Out of bounds by Grambling. Alcorn will take the ball 30 yards from where it was kicked.
Ref's mic is working. I was going to say, you see that fairway, and you say, I have to hit it to that fairway. I'm not going to hit it to that. Uh-oh, I hit it in the water. So that's what he did. He hit it in the water.
So basically, you're telling me it's easier said than done.
Yes. Even though you've done it, not kicked, but you've done it. But DJ Walker, I'm Dave Vermont. That is the famous Grambling Band.
World famed Grambling Band. That's their name, the world famed. Not world famous, but famed. What's the difference between famed and famous?
The option is covered, but missed on the tackle, and now an opportunity here for Alcorn. They go to Pilcher on that option play. Boy, the missed tackle really cost about 8 yards that time. Kendall Robinson missed the opportunity. Jeffrey Jack had to make the stop.
That was a good job by DeVaris Pilcher of picking up positive yardage on that play there, and he seems like he's hobbling back. Don't know if he'll be able to make it over to the sideline. He put a nice shake move on the tackler and then got to the outside. And I don't know if his quarterback realizes that he's out of commission. Look at the mental toughness, the physical toughness. He's trying to stay in there.
Well, they've got 2 backs in there now with Young. And he is going to try, but I don't know if he's going to be part of this play as he goes in the slot. Quarterback draw well executed. First down and a lot more for Buckley. His best run of the night. And into Grambling territory at the 38-yard line. Jack again on the stop.
Buckley there, quarterback draw. Maybe that's why he didn't care. He motioned out Pilcher out of the backfield. And Buckley turned on the Jets, getting up field vision, showing some nippiness. This is one of the things they like about him. They think he can be the complete package. He can run as well as throw the ball, and a good lead block there, getting the body on the body.
And Jeffrey Jack is shaken up on the play. It looks like one of his own men ran into him as he was reaching for that tackle. And he just now gets up. May have had just the breath knocked out of him. Let's hope that's all it is. Well, Buckley as a rusher, that's not very effective. But remember, the NCAA has this odd habit of rule of taking sack yardage from rushing yardage. And that's why he's got those numbers.
2 yards a carry, but if they could have just protected him, and maybe they can start to do that. But the rushing yards he's got has been because he's been running for his life.
And at that time, the decision was to hand it off to Young, and he lost a couple of yards that time as the interior of the Grambling defense united. We're happy to report that Jeffrey Jack coming back on the field quickly.
That was a quick turnaround there. You know, one of the questions that Alcorn State fans are wondering, you got a new coach there, Ernest Jones. He's an alum of the school, but you know, what are the qualifications? I mean, he's 35 years of age, so he's a youngster. But I was so impressed with the staff he's assembled around him. You're talking about all these coaches on the staff got Division I experience. They've all coached the big-time programs.
Little play fake and looked his way over. That pass defended nicely by Keith Hall. Incomplete, trying to get it to DeJarnette. But it's going to be 3rd down and long again for the Braves, who have faced this more than enough. 1 out of 10 on 3rd down conversions. That did come in this 3rd quarter.
And as you look at Coach Jones there, and you know, he said the challenge for his staff is going to be realizing that this is the prideful program. They're all outsiders coming in. They don't realize the pride that Alcorn had, and even previous to the McNair era. And I think he's going to do a good job. They've made a good choice down there.
In trouble. Can he get away for the 1st down? Nice stiff arm. He will not get the 1st down. He's going to get shoved out of bounds at the 35-yard line, being chased by Lance Castleberry all the way. Castleberry did a nice job to hold up to avoid a personal foul penalty.
One of the things you can do when you struggle with the D-line is maybe keep a running back in the backfield for protection. One thing that Alcorn has not done, they've continued to go with that empty backfield, meaning you've got one-on-one matchups on the outside. And when you've got that, I mean, take a look. There's no back there. So if one guy misses, then your quarterback has to scramble. I think a small adjustment you can make is keep a running back in the backfield and allow him to chip the defensive end as he goes out. Just don't give guys like Christian Anthony and Kendall Robinson one-on-one assignments.
And they go on 4th down and 6, and you can hear, give me the ball, the desperation. Grambling called a timeout. Well, they're only going to have 1 left. Of course, they're up 19-0. But that was interesting to see the defense call timeout when the punter never came on the field. It was never an instance of they weren't going for it all the way. So we'll see what the Braves can do. Trying to stay in this game. You get the sense that they cannot score here. Best field position they've had, that they're going to be in big, big trouble. Well, what are you doing Monday night? Monday Night Football is back on ESPN with a special doubleheader. First at 7 Eastern, Adrian Peterson leads the Minnesota Vikings ground game against division rival Green Bay. The Aaron Rodgers era begins in front of you at Lambeau Field. And at 10:15 Eastern, Jay Cutler and the Denver Broncos take on the AFC Western rivals Oakland, led by Jamarcus Russell and new running back Darren McFadden. Monday Night Football doubleheader, the 8th of September on ESPN, beginning at 7 Eastern.
When I hear all those matchups about Monday night, that's like a coming out party for all these young quarterbacks. You think about it, you got Rodgers, first year as a starter. You got Tavares Jackson, second year as a starter. You got Jay Cutler, second year as a starter. And then to follow it up, you got Jamarcus Russell. So be an interesting night to watch all the new era of quarterbacks, so to speak, in the NFL, to see which one of those guys is going to pan out and which one isn't going to make it.
Yeah, but nobody will be under more pressure than Aaron Rodgers.
To watch all the new era of quarterbacks, so to speak, in the NFL, to see which one of those guys is going to pan out and which one isn't going to make it.
Yeah, but nobody will be under more pressure than Aaron Rodgers, particularly if Brett Favre in Miami has a good game in his first day for the Jets. Buckley now 10 of 19, 87 yards and an interception. Oh, wow. He threw that at about 105 miles an hour and in and out of the hands of Antonio DiGiornet, and it'll be turnover on down. Well, there's Coach Ernest Jones. He would have probably caught that, is what he's saying to himself right now, because his quarterback was a guy named Steve McNair, who, by the way, could throw the ball pretty hard, too. From 1991 to 94, his senior season at Alcorn, 4,863 passing yards and 44 touchdowns. Of course, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in '94. The publicity was amazing. His brother, Fred, played for Alcorn as well. And, of course, we know his professional career. And the first breakaway run of the night for the Grambling Tigers is Frank Warren. Taken down finally at the 21-yard line by Roderick Williams, who saved a touchdown.
Frank Warren running that football like Steve McNair. One thing Steve could do is get it done on the ground, and take a look at Warren. Small back, deceptive. He's the shifty runner when you talk about Frank Warren and Cornelius Walker, but he's showing some power here as well. Not going down with arm tackles, and look at him turn it to an extra gear, get to the outside, and just one block away from taking that to the house.
45 yards, and it puts Grambling in fantastic field position at the Alcorn 21. Going for the everything bundle, and great coverage that time. There better not be a flag there. Trying to get it to Nick Lewis. Tremendous coverage by the Braves secondary. It looked like Williams is in there again.
Talk about Steve McNair and everything he accomplished. I mean, how often can you just think of one guy in one institution? I mean, if you think about it, you know, when you think Alcorn St, there's only one name that comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve McNair right off the top. You've got these other programs, and you talk about Jackson State where you got Peyton and Slater and these guys, and Grambling with Williams and Harris and Robinson. Alcorn State, Steve McNair.
Second down and 10, make it third down and 10. You know, I got to tell you that Gary Thompson was probably really happy he didn't catch that, because Corey McLaurin was coming up to deliver a big hit. You see McLaurin there, number 22, is also hobbling around a little bit. This could be cramp time. Not a particularly hot and humid day here in Louisiana, but still, run around out there long enough, and it'll catch up to you.
And you do it, and when your offense is going 3 and out and 3 and out and 3 and out, that's a lot of snaps to be on the football field.
Grambling 2 of 9 on third down. Here comes the blitz. Nice cutback, and right near the marker. Let's see where this is going to be. This is going to be close. And Tillman showed good awareness of seeing that blitz. Nice block by Cornelius Walker to help out. You talk about the running back helping out. There was a good example.
Yeah, that's why you want to keep somebody in the backfield, just so he can kind of clear the way and help out. And you'll see Tillman here get on the outside, show some niftiness, and he actually had enough mobility to outrun the corner blitz.
Fourth down and inches. They hurry to the line. And they got it.
Oh, that should have been a penalty. Yeah, Nick Lewis that was still moving forward out here at the wide receiver position. They didn't call that one.
I'm looking over at the Alcorn sideline to see if any of the coaches are going bananas, and I don't see it. But that's that quick little tap the center on any of the coaches are going bananas. I don't see it.
Position. They didn't call that one.
I'm looking over at the Alcorn sideline to see if any of the coaches are going bananas. I don't see it. But that's that quick little tap the center on the behind, that Peyton Manning play that we see so often, and he's that 6'4", 6'5". Tillman's a big guy. Just fall forward.
Hey, move the power. Let the big guys in front of you get that lean on and pick up the first down.
Behind that 305-pound senior center, Rive Smith. Good little misdirection here. Nice bounce back. Wow! Touchdown, Frank Warren. Come on, pull it. There you go. We're waiting on you, buddy. You missed your cue.
First home game of the season, so you know the timing's not quite there, and they didn't really get a lot of warm up in the first half because of the sloppy play. So offensive touchdown is something new to this new guy. He may be a freshman too.
That's true. I don't want to get on the students here. That wouldn't be very fair. It's been an interesting night for Leal. He got that one to go through, though. So Grambling has taken complete control of this game with 6:35 remaining in the third quarter, and Frank Warren had two big runs on this drive. Here's the second one.
The Southwestern Athletic Conference is dedicated to offering challenging educational opportunities to talented students and future leaders from all across the world. Founded in 1920, the SWAC and its 10-member institutions of higher learning are committed to building character and champions. Whether in the classroom or on the field of play, the Southwestern Athletic Conference is focused on service, scholarship, and shaping the minds of our future leaders. The Southwestern Athletic Conference, honoring the heritage.
One of these pizzas won't leave your wallet out empty. For fresh delivery taste without the delivery price, it's DiGiorno.
Sometimes you need a little push to let go of your Mach 3 razor until you discover Gillette Fusion. 5 blades spaced closer together with less irritation. Switch to Gillette Fusion.
The Trojans, the Buckeyes, 5 decades of their classic confrontations. USC versus Ohio State Week, starting Monday, 3
Get it, Jim. You had way too much cable.
You said you were going to get DirecTV.
I'm fine, really.
So digital picture doesn't mean anything to you? But what about your friends and your family?
I just want to watch the game. That's the cable talking, Jim. That game isn't even in HD.
Friends don't let friends watch cable. Refer a friend or family member to DirecTV, and you'll get $50, and they'll get $50 on top of our best offer.
Moving day is here, the most dreaded of days. Packing, unpacking, your mind in a haze. DirecTV knows how stressful moving can be, so we make keeping your entertainment both easy and free. For uninterrupted service of the shows you like best, just leave the dish behind and we'll handle the rest. Simply dial 877-616-MOVE and we'll throw in 3 months of Stars and Showtime for free.
Take a look at Frank Warren, a sophomore from Pleasant Grove, Alabama, the SWAC Freshman of the Year last year. Here's why.
Explosive moves, shifty vision, and the good balance that all great runners have to have. You see this long scamper here for 45 yards. Had he got one more block, this one would have been a score. But, hey, if you don't do it that time, we'll give you another shot. Get inside the hole, bounce to the outside where you see daylight, turn on the jets, and Frank Warren showing you why he's got all those accolades after his freshman year.
901 yards last season. And this is what, talk about a guy who's got second wind. There's a perfect example of it right there. Not frustrated, kept his poise, and got some good blocking that time. And, of course, his own cutback ability on that touchdown run. That was pretty exciting.
Maybe he figured out a way to run behind that big line, showing a little bit more patience because they don't get off the ball as fast.
Here's D. Jarnett trying to break through, make that Morris, excuse me. Gets it out to the 34, make it the 35-yard line. And so a few extra whistles there. They try to unpile. So a pretty decent field position. And it really hasn't mattered for this Alcorn offense, whether it's been Hobson or Buckley at quarterback. They have struggled. They have been their own worst enemy at times. And you know, I were talking a little bit during the timeout, how much of this is Alcorn's fault and how much of this is good Grambling defense?
I think, you know, I think the Alcorn defense came out and matched the intensity level that Grambling had in the first half. But when your offense is consistently doing 3 and out, then the special teams go, your defense just gets demoralized, and I think that's what happened to Alcorn State.
Got to find a way to get this offense going, or can they? Hit as he throws, going deep and a man open. Oh, and what an interception! Unbelievable catch. And this has a chance to go all the way. The blocking is set up perfectly. Out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Bruna Foster, the receiver was open. Jay, I saw that. Everybody here saw that, but Bruna Foster with an amazing catch, and everybody in the stadium saw the open field, and we all thought this one might go all the way.
This is why you want to have a free safety like number 43. You see him in the middle of your screen. You talk about range of motion and recovery speed. He went over there and made that Willie Mays type interception. And then I liked how he became the running back afterwards. Look at this, setting up the wall, getting to the sideline, and look at him. He's getting a little winded there, but still showed some leg strength. And oh, was that close to having that count as a touchdown. But look at the range of motion, and that's why you got to have great range and good hip movement. Bruna Foster, 6'3", 195 pounds.
You wonder about the contact on the quarterback, too, that pass was a little bit underthrown. If that influenced that throw at all, it probably did. Kendall Robinson made that contact. Now Grambling really trying to put this game away, and that pass maybe not the best one that J.P. Tillman has thrown, but he was under a great deal of pressure that time. And there's Lee Robinson, number 56 for the Braves, applying that pressure.
Well, that was just a phenomenal interception. I mean, he made that catch look easy, that interception. And you talk about the pass and the pressure where the ball was thrown late. Had he gotten that ball out there early, then Foster would not have had the ability to recover. And that's why the timing game, the rhythm, has not been there for Alcorn today.
This is Cornelius Walker, the other in that fine two-tailback tandem. He gets it across the 20-yard line to the 19.
Anytime you have a dual running back threat, whenever one does well, the other one seems to run a little bit hard. You know, you can tell now Walker got that last handoff, and he was really trying to hit the hole, trying to say, hey, I'm not going to let the youngster Frank Warren show me out. With those spectacular runs, I want to get one too. And I guarantee you, Cornelius Walker's trying to take it to the house every time he touches the ball.
Well, those two combined for almost 1,500 yards last season and 10 touchdowns. Tillman in big trouble, but nice elusiveness. And he's got a man open. That'll be a touchdown, but there's a flag down behind the play. No, caught it out of bounds, incomplete. Batiste ruled out of bounds by the official, and I wonder if Tillman crossed the line of scrimmage. Let's see. No, it's a holding
Number
call.
68 on Grambling, 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay third down.
So all that excitement wiped out.
Yeah, take a look at number 68, the left guard there. Maybe this is why Tillman was able to get outside the pocket. That hold there, oh yeah, he had plenty of jersey, but look at the throw here. Good touch, and oh yeah, official got it right. He was out of bounds as well.
Again, influenced that throw by pressure, no question. That's one of the few seniors on this football team, and one of two on the line, Corey Williams with the penalty. Third and long. Open, nice execute. Oh, look out there. That's going to cost you half the distance to the goal line. The officials are going to blow the play dead at the 16-yard line. Kiari Thompson is fortunate he wasn't seriously injured on that play. ATN made the grab of the face mask, 24 yards on the catch, and add about 3 more for the penalty.
I mean, did Tillman just deliver a strike or what?
You could see that play set up, and even from where we are, you could tell where he wanted to throw the ball, and he did it nicely.
We have a catch by Grambling. Personal foul, face mask on the defense. Pass the distance to the goal. First down.
That's one of those throws. This is just a big-time throw here on the skinny post. You see what they like about his arm strength. Coming right into your living room, thrown right before the safety, and all the safety can do is reach out and try and grab him. And look at that. That's the thing you don't like to see.
9th penalty on the Braves.
That was tough to look at, but that was a fantastic throw by J.P. Tillman, getting all 6'3", 240 pounds into that throw.
Walker is the tailback. He stays in the block, and it doesn't matter. Solidly sacked that time. Coming in from the corner is Corey McLaurin.
They brought the corner blitz, and as a quarterback, you've got to know, if my read's not there, once you get inside the 20, instead of thinking you have 3.5 seconds to get rid of the ball, you've got 2. 1,001, 1,002, not there. I got to get rid of it. And he chose to try and outrun the defensive back that was coming in there with so much speed and momentum. That's one of those mental areas you got to know. Get rid of the football.
Second and goal from the 11. McLaurin now looks like he's a little bit shaken up. He's been limping around a little bit in between plays. Not on that last one. Picked up the blitz that time, going for the end zone. Donnell, a third touchdown, no. If he had somehow caught that, that would have been the play of the night. But it'll be third down and goal from the 11.
And what a poor decision. Why try and force that ball into double coverage and take points off of the board potentially? Just tuck that ball in there and run. One of those trick gadget plays. The Braves defense was not fooled on this. Look at this. You've got two guys there that are within position on one. Anytime you're throwing 1 against 2, I don't like your chances.
Tomasi Fuller was the guy who almost picked off the ball in the end zone, unless maybe Randy Moss is the one. How about that?
That's true, but you don't want to make a living doing that.
You do, yes. Fade, Donnell. Boy, that's beautifully defended. Beautifully defended that time by Roderick Williams. We've called his name about half a dozen times on pass defense, so Grambling will send out Leal on the field goal team.
And the nice thing about it, look how he times his jump. When the wide receiver jumps, he doesn't jump. He waits till he's getting ready to come down, and he swats at the ball. No point trying to get the interception. Just swat at the ball to get it out of there. That's how you play defense on that jump ball.
I'll tell you what, I'll watch about 9 NFL games on Sunday, and that'll be about the best coverage of that pass play I'll see the whole day.
Knock it away.
Leal on for 3, and he'll make it good for 28 yards. So Grambling adds 3 more thanks to the interception and the great run back, and they have padded their lead to 29-0. It's been Grambling dominating the game in all 3 phases.
Start your engine.
The dog says, woof, 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 woof. And the cat says, yeah. And the duck says, quack, quack, quack. And the turkey says,
The turkey definitely says Oven roasted turkey on crispy, warm panini bread. One of the new iron grilled sandwiches at Dairy Queen.
Love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
I'm comfortable in jeans that are tough. I'm comfortable in jeans that last. I'm comfortable in Wrangler. Real comfortable.
Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Built tough with long-lasting heavyweight denim. Built comfortable with relaxed fit. Satisfaction guaranteed. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
With Jay Walker, I'm Dave Lamont. Never out of tune, the Grambling band, but out of tune is this Alcorn State offense. They have had a very, very difficult night. Yes, we want to give credit to the Tiger defense, but the numbers just scream at you.
4 turnovers, 4 3-and-outs, 5 sacks allowed, the negative yards plays, and only 122 yards of offense. I mean, they're just not getting it done, and it's been one of those nights where they've taken turns breaking down. Receivers dropping the ball, the offensive line not protecting the football. Everywhere you look at it, this Alcorn State offense has just played horrible. But one thing about it, if you're Coach Jones from Alcorn State, maybe you can learn something from this in terms of the mental toughness of your football squad for the upcoming season going.
Yeah, I don't know what you do here. I think you just work on other plays in your offense that you haven't tried, and you try to come out and run the football.
I think this is one of those times where you look at everybody on your team. And they say, you kind of look at everybody. Look at your quarterback. You look at the running back. You look them in their eye. And you let them know I'm not quitting. And right now, all you can really ask if you're Alcorn State to say, hey, which one of these guys are real football players and who are quitters? And if they're quitters, it'll come out. And he's just trying to measure the fight in this team. I mean, it's only week 2. Yeah. They still have a whole schedule of SWAC games. And this is not one of the SWAC games that count. So right now he's trying to see what he can do to make a miraculous recovery and find out who his playmakers are and who his quitters are going to be.
These teams in different divisions. Now, Alcorn will be outside of the SWAC next week. They go to Troy, Alabama. Never a friendly team to play, what Larry Blakeney has done at Troy. Nice underneath pattern here for Alcorn, and a chance at a first down, and they'll get it. And Moore running out of his shoe is Elliott Moore, but he does get the first down, a 14-yard pickup on that crossing pattern. We take a look at the schedule. For Alcorn, they go outside the conference, then ESPNU will bring them the game against Arkansas Pine Bluff. And then some SWAC games there to come.
So looking forward to doing that game September 18th down there on the reservation, as they call the Alcorn State campus there. And, you know, hey, they're still 0-0 in SWAC play. So they got an opportunity to rebound and get this season going in the right direction early. But that last play we just saw, that's what they're looking for. Yeah. We want to see the effort. You know, you've got a guy, Elliott Moore.
Practice now. False start. Number 60 on the offense. 5-yard pick.
See, by Elliott Moore being the senior, then that's something that the young wide receivers can learn. They can say, hey, this is the effort we need to give night in, night out.
1st and 15. Well, that broke down so fast. Flag coming in all the way back to the 40-yard line. Melvin Matthews, the defensive tackle, just drew a bead on Buckley. Let's see what this is going to be.
Matthews on the tackle for Grambling St.
This is going to go against the Braves as they discuss it with Rod Broadway. The
Grambling. On the offense, number 66. Penalties decline.
5 sacks by the Grambling defense.
This is just a bull rush by Melvin Matthews coming right up the middle. Slide through there, he gets held. Guy tries to grab him from the behind, but that's a good job. I mean, you like when those big defensive tackles are active, quick feet. You got a guy that weighs 300 pounds, but cat quickness.
Make that the 6th sack tonight. Triple what they did last week in Reno. Nice little draw play here. Got 1 block. Needs a lot of yards to get the first down. He'll be significantly short of it. It's going to be 3rd and long. Almost got to midfield, did Buckley, but he took a shot, and he's a little bit late getting up.
And I think Buckley, this is something that he's got to learn. As many years as I've been covering football and playing football, nothing good happens when you turn your back to the defense. You know, if you're running the ball in there and you decide you're going to go sideways, and you get your back turned to the defense, and bad things are going to happen. You're going to fumble, lose your whereabouts. You see the spin move, he's going to shift their backs turned to the defense, and bam, gets hit right in the back. So something he's got to learn.
So Hobson has come in to play quarterback as McCord put him down, Buckley, and wow. I was about to say another interception. By the time I got the interception out, it became an incomplete pass, but that's kind of the theme of how this game has gone at times for Alcorn, lack of execution.
It looked like they were playing hot potato. Ball hit linebacker Jeff Exuma right in the grill. Let me take a look at this. Like, I don't want it. You want it? Look, bing. Then it's up in the air. You got guys coming to get. I got it. No, you got it. I got it. No. Oh.
My question is, what is the quarterback seeing that caused him to throw the ball right at the Grambling linebacker?
Not the defense.
Look out here. That ball may have been touched by Grambling. Let's see what the officials rule. Is it Alcorn ball? No, they say it's Grambling football. So Grambling will get the ball to the 19-yard line. And this is a pretty unusual play. Now, let's see the field judge trying to call for a little order restored here. Trent Delcourt picked the ball. It's down there for Grambling, number 29. He may have been the one that the player, that the ball touched, or did it? Nope, apparently not. George McCullum, the referee, says nope, didn't touch anybody for Grambling. Let's see if we can see anything.
That looked like an up and back shoulder pad.
I agree.
You take a look, the guy's going to make the block, and the momentum of that ball kind of kicks sideways.
That's Corey McLaurin, who's been all over the field, and he was alert enough to at least try to make a play out of it.
And make the official make the call.
Yep. And they did. But it was against, like almost everything else tonight, it was against Alcorn. And this time, nice tackle as Frank Warren tried to get someplace. And JaVale Fields made the stop, number 79, a freshman from Grand Prairie, Texas. I've been saying that word freshman an awful lot for both teams tonight.
Yeah, now you're definitely going to be saying it for the rest of the night. Well, this is an opportunity for you to take a look at those young freshmen that do so well during the week but don't get an opportunity to play on Saturdays. Now, step up, young man, grow, and let's see if you can play some football.
2nd and 12. Wide open and a nice catch. Not an easy pass to catch, right at the marker. And Nick Lewis shows his experience there. And it looks like, yeah, it will move the chains for a first down.
And that's how you throw an out route. You don't have to gun the ball in there. You know, wide receivers got to make a break, get outside, locate the ball. But see, it was a nice catchable ball where the wide receiver had time to come out of his break, locate the football, make the catch, and go down. Earlier, we saw the Alcorn quarterback try and drill that ball in there. Guy didn't have a chance to get his head around, so I like the touch, and that's called passing.
And the elusive Frank Warren, flag coming in right at the tackle. So he'll get a couple of yards, and we'll see what the penalty is from the umpire.
See, I'm not going to leave you with that empty thought. You know the difference between passing and throwing is?
I'll defer to you.
See, passing is when you're out there and you know what the defense is doing. You attack the weakness of it.
Holding on the offense. Number 61, 10 yards from the previous spot.
And because you've got your pre-snap read and read the coverage and you know where to go with the football, you pass the ball in there. But if you're reacting to what the defense is doing, then you got to throw it in the spot. That's why they say he made that throw in the tight coverage. But you don't hear him say, oh, he put the pass in the tight coverage. So you throw in the tight coverage, you pass into the open field. So young quarterbacks like to come in and throw. You got a lot of guys out there can throw the ball 100 miles an hour, but the good ones become effective passers.
4th Grambling penalty. They've only had 38 yards in penalty. A delayed screen to Batiste. Doesn't get a whole lot, gets only a couple of yards. It'll set up 2nd down and very long. Well, that's like in baseball. They talk about pitching and throwing. The guy who's pitching is hitting the glove, moving the spots, changing the speeds, confusing the batters, and the guy who's just throwing is usually the guy who doesn't last very long.
And you can get away with that sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Troy Percival. He was coming in there throwing gas, and then all of a sudden you lose a little velocity, then you become kind of normal, and they start to stroke you. In the case of Grambling, Tillman's the passer. I've seen that early, and Dillon's a thrower. But one thing that Dillon can do is he can run, so he's a thrower and a runner.
We've got 1 quarter left in this matchup between Alcorn and Grambling State. And it's been the Grambling band playing the tunes while the Alcorn State Braves have been shut out so far. 4th quarter coming up.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Yo, 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 oh no, you didn't. Sucker tried to blame me, but you never paid me, never. Oh no, you didn't. Payback is a coming, you will be running forever. Oh no, you did. Until I get my vengeance, I will never end this mayhem. Oh no, you didn't. I'm a mercenary, you ain't got a prayer, you owe me.
Mercenaries 2, rated T for teen.
Delivery pizza minus the delivery price equals DiGiorno. For fresh delivery taste without the delivery price, it's DiGiorno.
We spent 4 days in these cars to prove Shell gasoline can stop gunky buildup on critical engine parts that low-quality discount gasolines can leave behind, helping your car perform at its best. Ready for another 5,000 miles?
Bring it on.
The Trojans, the Buckeyes, 5 decades of their classic confrontations. USC versus Ohio State Week, starting Monday, 3 Eastern on ESPN Classic.
Okay, give me my remote.
Get it, Jim. You had way too much cable.
You said you were going to get DirecTV.
I'm fine, really.
So digital picture doesn't mean anything to you? But what about your friends and your family?
I just want to watch the game. That's the cable talking, Jim. That game isn't even in HD.
Friends don't let friends watch cable. Refer a friend or family member to DirecTV, and you'll get $50, and they'll get $50 on top of our best offer.
Moving day is here, the most dreaded of days. Packing, unpacking, your mind in a haze. DirecTV knows how stressful moving can be, so we make keeping your entertainment both easy and free. For uninterrupted service of the shows you like best, Just leave the dish behind and we'll handle the rest. Simply dial 877-616-MOVE and we'll throw in 3 months of Stars and Showtime for free.
There's your score. Fourth quarter about to begin here in Grambling, Louisiana at Robinson Stadium. Well, welcome to the top 25, East Carolina and Skip Holtz. We'll talk more about that in just a second here. College football had, as always, a fascinating Saturday. Meantime, the fourth quarter begins. Grambling in complete control. That's just a little bit too high. All right, what do I mean by that? Well, East Carolina knocked off Virginia Tech and Charlotte. Okay, Virginia Tech is young. West Virginia was a top 10 team, Jay.
Wow. I mean, they 24-3. They put a whooping on them right there. You know, bye-bye Heisman Trophy possibly for Pat White. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
You lose like that, you put up 3 points in a loss. Ohio State, without Beanie Wells, they really struggled. They struggled. Going to the fourth quarter, they were trailing that game, and BYU and Washington going out.
Now, how about BYU having a PAT, pardon me, with 2 seconds to go to preserve that game? Otherwise, that thing's going to overtime.
You know, that was interesting. I was really curious about that matchup because for all that we talk about Tim Tebow, UW, University of Washington, they got a quarterback named Lockley who's pretty good himself. You know, he goes playing in the Pacific Northwest, doesn't get all the publicity that Tebow does, but he's got very Tebow-like numbers. And Tyrone Willingham, that hot seat seems to be getting just a little bit hotter.
I wonder how hot it's going to be after that game, though. I don't know how that putt didn't get blocked. And everybody for Alcorn better get out of the way, otherwise they're going to lose control of the football. But great field position here for the Braves and their offense. We'll see who comes out to play quarterback. Buckley was a little bit shaken up. Hobson finished up the last series, and we'll see who it's going to be here.
When we talk about that hot seat over there in Washington, how hot can it get? You know, when you lose a game by a blocked extra point, then you give your naysayer something else to get on you about.
No, that's true, and there's no question. All the offseason talk is he was probably one of 10 coaches who was in some big trouble. Well, you get your weekly dose of NFL news and analysis on ESPN Sunday, first at 11 a.m. Eastern. Chris Berman hosts Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM, with analysts Mike Ditka, Tom Jackson, Steve Young, Chris Carter, and Keyshawn Johnson. Then at 7 Eastern, Chris Berman and John Saunders deliver the day's highlights and scores during SportsCenter. Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM and SportsCenter on ESPN Sunday.
Steve Young's got his work cut out for him. Who do you get the ball to? You give it to Keyshawn, just give me the ball, or do you give it to the savior, I call him, my old teammate Chris Carter?
I don't know. If you don't get it to Keyshawn enough now, who does he go to? Ditka to complain, or does he go to Boomer right away?
You know you can't go crying to Mike Ditka.
No, that will not work. Grambling had 12 on the field. They just scampered one off to avoid the penalty. That's Buckley back in at quarterback. Ooh, boy, that's how you get somebody hurt. That play destroyed by Christian Anthony. And that, by the way, not the first time he has done that to the Alcorn offense.
Trying to set up a middle screen there, pump it hard to the right, coming back left and squeeze that ball in there. That's one where you got to realize your receiver has his back turned to the defense. Just get rid of the ball.
That was Michael Simmons, the junior, who paid the price for that. Actually lost a yard. Buckley with his speed just ran right through that one tackler, dropped the ball, got it back, and is just shy of the first down. They're going to say his knee hit at about the 48-yard line, so it's going to bring up third down and less than a yard.
You started to ask me who I think the quarterback was going to be for Alcorn State this series, and pretty much I can understand why you go with Tim Buckley. He's got to grow. He's got to learn, and you know, his job is not secure as well. They want to see how he's going to respond to some adverse conditions as well, and it seems to me that Coach Jones has made it clear that Buckley's going to be the quarterback he's going to hang his hat on. He's got to continue to get better and improve.
On third and short, pardon me, Jay, they get the first down. Catch made by Elliott Moore.
See, that was a throw. You know, threw that ball in there.
You could actually hear that hit the pad when he caught it.
You know, and had he dropped that ball, they'd have said, oh, you got to hold on to that. Well, I make the argument, no, you know, I was a strong arm quarterback. If I threw the ball hard enough, I didn't expect the wide receiver to catch it. Because, you know, I thought I had enough arm strength to do that. So what you have to do is learn how to put touch on the ball. It's the difference between gunning it in there and throwing a firm, crisp throw.
And that one going to be intercepted. And once again, that's Foster. And he's got a chance. Foster with his second interception of the half, his second great run back of 46 yards, and that was Buckley who made the tackle.
They call Bruno Foster a rover. And what's a rover supposed to do? Rove the secondary, follow the quarterback's eyes. And what I like is the fact that he's able to come away with this throw. Here we go again, throwing the ball in the coverage. Great break on the ball. And you see Foster, once he gets it, the interception, we know he knows what to do with it. Just to think, he's just a freshman.
Yep.
He's got great range. He's going to be a good one down here in Grambling, Louisiana.
Redshirt freshman out of Ormond Beach, Florida. So Grambling with great field position. And they keep it on the ground with Cornelius Walker. Nice little two-back tandem they have here at
Grambling. What we talked about earlier, see, throwers have to force it in coverage.
Yeah, penalty on Grambling here. So they'll probably back that up and make it 1st and 15. And they do. Well, all right, here's a cliched question. I'll throw it at you. Because somebody's going to ask Ernest Jones at Alcorn this question. Coach, what positives do you take out of this game? So I'll ask you. From what we've seen so far from Alcorn, what would you take out of there that you'd be happy with?
That it's only one loss and doesn't count for 5.
Okay. Just had to ask because you know someone's going to ask it. Nice little throw that time. Or pass. You would call that a pass?
I would call that a pass.
All right,
I see. Let him run underneath it. Allow him to do some things. And you talk about what can you take. You got something, you go back and tell your offense. The defense came out and played great at the beginning of this game. Now you go in there and tell the offense, hey, guys, if we can score some points and keep them off the field, we've got a defense that can keep us in the ball game. So I think that's the only positive you can have because coming out, the offense was poor, the special teams were poor, but at the beginning of this game, the defense was doing a good job.
Got the 5 yards back, lost on penalty, 2nd and 10. Look at as he throws, and a great catch. Coming back, tremendous awareness by the senior Nick Lewis that time to come back to the football, and Tillman just bounced right up. I know it had to hurt. Maybe it'll hurt tomorrow morning when he gets out of bed, but nice throw, nice play.
I'm going to tell you, the blows that hurt the most are the ones you see coming. And he sees this coming, knows he's going to get hit, and ooh. And what surprises people, it doesn't hurt when you get hit the initial contact. It's when they land on you. When you get on the ground and they land on you, that's what hurts.
Well, he's going to get hit again, but he's going to get the first down. And Tillman really got popped that time by Idley Etienne, a senior out of Miami. And I don't know if that signal means get me out of here, coach, or I'm all right, or whatever that means. He's going to stay in the game.
Hey, when you're in the middle of a quarterback controversy, you don't ever come out the game.
How about Etienne? He exploded right into him that time.
He sure did. Now we see why Stillman goes around weighing 240 pounds. You got to have a little extra cushion if you're going to play that physical style of football from the quarterback position.
Well, handoff here, and a lot of contact early, forced by Lee Robinson. And he kind of busted that play up with Walker on the carry. You see what Tillman has done so far. He did not start this game. Greg Dillon did, but Grambling, you see 29-0, and you may have just tuned in and think they've dominated this game from the beginning. The first quarter was scoreless, and neither offense could do very much. Tillman has come in and moved this team fairly effectively.
I think that's going to be the key, what they have to grow on. It seems like he's got more control of the passing aspects of this offense.
In trouble here, though, and the ball is loose. And it's going to be Braves ball.
Tillman fumbles, and it's recovered by the Alcorn Braves.
So Alcorn, pardon me, gets their first big defensive break in a while. There's Corey McLaurin, who's been almost everywhere for the Braves.
Yeah, he's been fighting. You know, the senior cornerback has showed some fighting. You'll see here the blitz is coming. They get up the middle and they get a hand on that football, and McLaurin was able to get down at the bottom of that pile and come away with the fumble recovery.
So back out is Timothy Buckley, trying to get that 0 off the board for Alcorn. After they had 28 points, they came down to the last play in that game last week against Southeastern Louisiana. As he is nailed as he fires that one into traffic. Chris Williams made the catch and picked up about 5 before he got belted. But Melvin Matthews is the one who put the pressure on the quarterback. Again, he has just been running free sometimes in that backfield.
I think the rest of the SWAC conference has got to be aware, although Grambling is young, they got some guys on the defensive side of the ball that can get after you. So don't think just because the defending West Division champions are young that they're still not going to put a hurting on you, especially when you got a front four like they do.
Throws that one in time, and it's dropped by Williams as he was well covered that time by Gabriel Fleming, a redshirt freshman from here in Grambling. Well, you look at this defense for Grambling State. Preseason SWAC all-first-teamer Christian Anthony has certainly played like it. We mentioned Melvin Matthews quite a bit. He's a preseason second-teamer, as is Keith Hall. So there's definitely some proven talent here.
And they've got a secondary with some guys that can cover. They think Nigel Copeland is a guy that could possibly be playing on Sundays next year. So Keith Anio came up with an interception as well. And I like the young kid, Bruno Foster. I like a free safety or a rover type guy with that type of range. Cover the whole field, very Sean Taylor.
Well, he had an opportunity. He almost did it again, only that was going to be Keith Hall, 44, not 43. And I tell you another thing, that Buckley had a chance to get them in an offside. You had a Grambling defender in the backfield almost, and he didn't get the ball snapped in time. So it's going to be time for a punt. And Alexander Olfke comes in again.
Let me ask you this. We're here. Your first time down here to the mecca of black college football, Grambling. Give me your impressions of Grambling coming down here and what you've seen.
I thought that we would have from Grambling about what we're getting here. I thought they might be the better team today. I like this atmosphere here quite a bit. I love the history. I love walking into the building. Oh, my! Well, Batiste bounces right up. And Corey McLaurin yet again. All right, Mel, I'll get back to my thoughts in a second. But you talked about the coaching staff's going to find out who's going to quit and who's not going to quit. Don't put him on the no-quit list because he is, excuse me, put him on the no-quit list because he has been great.
There is no quitting him. He's played from the opening snap on, hasn't been beat on touchdowns, and has never given up, coming up with fumble recoveries, making hard hits like this. And let's look at this in real speed. Plastic is not supposed to hit plastic like that.
No, no. Anyway, what I think to me the moment that really summed it up was when we walked into the football building yesterday. Wide open, and Tillman under a lot of pressure couldn't quite get that throw there. And you look and see the names of the people who played here and the honors and the trophies and the photos and the pictures of Eddie Robinson that are everywhere. But the incredible history here, I think that's what I'll take away from this. Really appreciate it. You talk about, as I mentioned, I was going to be going here to a lot of my friends. They thought, hey, that's a pretty cool trip. Going into Grambling and thinking of all the great athletes that have been here, and of course of Eddie Robinson. So obviously we'd have loved 29-29 at this point, but it's not going to happen. That's the way it goes. But it's certainly a trip that I'll take away a lot of very pleasant memories from, and hope to get a chance to come back.
And I think you can forget about more legends than you can make.
Oh, yeah.
We were sitting here going over the look, and we just listed the 4 NFL Hall of Famers. We're not talking about the Grambling State Hall of Fame. You got Ernie Big Cat Ladd that played here, and you've got the Trumaine Johnsons that were legends here, and all the legends that play. And a lot of people, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but you know this is the largest on-campus FCS stadium, on campus. Not some others at Jackson State, they hold 55,000 down at their stadium, but they're just off campus.
Right.
The largest on-campus stadium, correctly, second to the Yale.
And sacked by the Alcorn defense, going to bring up 4th down and long. And that is Keys on the tackle. Joe Keys, a senior from Collins, Mississippi. And here comes the punt team. Well, the last time there was a shutout by Grambling in this series, you got to go back to 1998. 11-0 win.
11-0.
Yeah.
Not a lot of offense in that game either.
No.
Huh?
Well, I tell you what, at 8:43 and counting, unless they block this punt, and they nearly do, it's a good high kick, not terribly deep, but very high. And it'll be down again to the 42-yard line by Grambling. For the Alcorn offense, it's had a tough night tonight. A lot of it's been their own poor execution. Some of it has been outstanding defense by Grambling, and some of it is sometimes you just miss blocks on guys like Christian Anthony.
You talk about defense for Grambling. It all started with Christian Anthony. From the moment he got off the bus, he was the man to beat. He realized he had a mismatch against the outside tackle, and he just started laying into the Alcorn quarterbacks. Then you talk about more defense. Hey, the secondary for Grambling. They came in here as one of the strong points. Nigel Copeland there with the interception. Then the tip pass, and Johnny on the spot was Kenneth Onio. And then you talk about great range. My guy, Bruno Foster, having the ability to just go up and snatch this ball out of the air. So It's been an impressive defensive performance by Grambling on the defensive line and the defensive secondary, making it a complete, total defensive effort. And that's why they're trying to pitch a shutout here with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And you see now the big difference from week one is they played on the road at Nevada, a very good offensive football team, and FBS, Football Bowl Subdivision, or Division I team, whereas we are down in Football Championship Subdivision, FCS, or the old 1AA, if you are more familiar with that term. So you really couldn't read too much into that. And that's going to be incomplete, overthrown by about 10 yards. As you prepared for this game, I really had to throw those numbers out.
Then one of the things that defensive coordinator Cliff Yoshida said was, you just don't give up 600 yards. He was just, he couldn't believe it. He said, we thought this was going to be the strength of our team, and they let us down giving up 600 yards. So coming in this game, they didn't know if their defense was going to be that weak. I don't care if you're playing Pop Warner football or if you're playing, you know, the university high school team going against the Patriots. We're not going to give up 600 yards going into the game. You can slow down the game, but I think the questions have been answered, and it looks like the defense is back.
Well, they gave up 426 on the ground in that game. Solid hit on Chris Williams, executed by Keefall. And this was a Grambling team that last year, number 8 in the country in their division in rush defense. So some of that has obviously come back. And of course, part of it is, frankly, Alcorn just hasn't been able to run the football and now hasn't been trying that much, down by as many points as they are down.
How about when you ask Coach Broadway, Coach, you know, they ran for a lot of yards on you. He said they're still running, aren't they? Yeah, that's just one that you just don't know what you're going to get. And I think this defense has really responded to the challenge. And looks like they're back. Third
down and short, trying to break on the ball. And there, breaking on the ball was Bruna Foster. And that's going to be incomplete. Fourth down and a couple of yards. And most likely Alcorn will go for it. There's nothing to be hurt by trying.
This is one where you look over to the offensive coordinator and you say, what, Coach? What do you want me to do? I mean, you almost say, hey, why don't you come out here and run this one? Looks like they're going to take their time to think about it.
Well, they are going to try to figure out what to do. Now, Grambling goes at Northwestern State next week. They only have 3 more games in the Robinson Stadium. Jackson State, Langston, and on the 18th, their homecoming game against Alabama State. So the rest of the time on the road, some at neutral sites, by the way, we should mention. We take a look at some of the key games coming up here for Grambling State. Any of them jump out of you as
September
especially?
20th.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Jackson State. So, you know, they met last year in the SWAC championship, and Jackson State, the defending champs on the eastern side of the bracket, Grambling defending champs on the west. So that'll be an early SWAC challenge to see what they can do there. And for the first time in many years, many years, the State Fair Classic, that game October 4th at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, it's got some meaning. Prairie View's winning again. This is not your Prairie View. The 80s and 90s had the nation's longest losing streak.
Remember that.
Prairie View was 7-3 last year. 7-3 last year, and hey, Henry Frazier's got them doing a great job, so that's the game they've got to see. But they've got 2 tough ones coming September 20th and October 4th. It's going to be unbelievable.
All right, now there's a lot of talk before this season that Grambling could repeat as Western Division champions. What you've seen here so far, what do you think?
No. What I saw tonight, the answer would be no. I think, you know, you got a team down there in Baton Rouge.
I've heard of that town.
Southern University, that's their rival. You know, one thing about Grambling, you know, they're coming off a 4-game losing streak. And Southern had something to do with that, and so did Jackson State. So it's going to be very tough for the defending West champs to repeat.
One monster case of athlete's foot. Hit that with Tough Actin Tenactin. It gets rid of your athlete's foot. Hey, it can even keep you from getting athlete's foot. Get boom, Tough Actin Tenactin.
Wood finishing projects can feel too big to tackle, but Minwax always makes it easy with rich wood stains and clear protective finishes. It's that simple. Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful.
Here at this modern-day watering hole, this urban Serengeti,
It's man meets reptile.
So, Lucy, what are you doing?
Just a little online shopping.
You should check out Geico.com, get a free rate quote. If you like what you see, you can buy it online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Cool.
Remarkable. Oh, no. Help! Did you hear something?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
We got it!
Got what?
The Grail. 50 million credit cards. IDs, account numbers, everything.
The Grail. You said we couldn't hack the network?
So we took it. All of it.
Guys, that's an IBM server. It's got cryptographic coprocessors, RACF, Mondo encryption. I can't break that.
Guess we'll have to take it back then.
So some poor field position here for the home team, but everything's going Grambling's way tonight. 29-0 the score. And Greg Dillon back into the game at quarterback, replacing J.P. Tillman. He started the game, but Tillman outplayed him, and the coaching staff went with a hotter hand, and understandably so. Not a whole lot there for Dillon, though. And it's going to bring up second down.
The important thing for Dillon right now is don't try and come back and win your job back with 7 minutes to go in this game. Work hard in practice, practice hard, hold on to the football, protect it, and don't turn it over.
Yeah, he's got to be. I wonder what's going on in his mind right now. You know, he's hey, I'm starting this game great. Well, and all of a sudden he doesn't get it generated, and he's been sitting a long time. It's got to be tough.
It'll be a long weekend. A lot of questions go through your mind.
Nice tackle. I tell you what, Lee Robinson's playing in the final whistle. We've identified some guys that the Alcorn coaches certainly can't put in the quitter category, and he's on that list as well. Boy, he's got great speed.
He does. He does, and he's a middle linebacker. Normally, he runs like one of these outside linebackers, but he's their middle linebacker. You see him right in the middle of your screen here. Guy gets by him, you think you're going to get away from him, and no. He just kind of hides behind that offensive line and shoots out there and makes the tackle.
Took himself out of the game, limped just a little bit. He'll take a break, get some liquids. Third and long, third and about 7. Boy, that play didn't work as planned. Absolutely destroyed by Joe Keys, number 92, the senior defensive end from Collins, Mississippi. And that's not going to make Rod Broadway very happy.
And that's how you play outside contain. Beat your man up to the shoulder, force the running back to cut back in. One thing I'm not going to let you do is have me go out here saying that Graham is not going to defend their title in the West.
All right, well, which way do you want it now, sir?
It's going to be tough for them.
Okay.
Early on, the way it looked, I thought they had no chance. But because the defense is as good as they are, it comes down to some of those rivalry games. They've always got a chance from the old school. To beat a man, you have to beat the man.
Well, they beat that man out of bounds, and it's going to be a 15-yard penalty on top.
Correction to make that Roderick Williams.
Alcorn might have a pretty good football team if they could just get some of those penalties out of the way.
Well, this one's going to go against Grambling. They have not had many of those tonight, but there was 3 who hit Roderick Williams out of bounds. So move that up 15 yards. And here's the chance, the best chance the Braves have had. This is going to be their best field position by far.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 52 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
So this ball should be at about the 18-yard line. Let's see where they finally put the football down. So we'll see what the Braves can do. Now, Ernest Jones, what does he take away from this game?
Got some work to do, and as you say sometime in coach speak, hey, we got to coach him up and get better.
The penalty yardage, almost. It's close. A little bit of a difference. Closer than any coach would ever want it to be, that's for sure. Buckley. And he takes a little poke out of bounds, and there's a flag. Well, Castleberry, not a hard hit, but a little bit of contact out of bounds. That's most likely going to be half the distance, or maybe the full 15.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit, out of bounds, number 2 on the defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Well, I've seen worse, but he did make a little contact out of bounds.
You talk about Coach Jones. Let's talk about how you become a head coach at the age of 35. Went to Alcorn, finished in '95, but came to Alcorn from the University of Cincinnati. and just paid his dues. Central Michigan, Oberlin College, Kentucky State.
That little bubble screen got his bubble burst. And Christian Anthony, boy, playing to the last whistle. Well, Curtis Jones was part of an unusual situation when he was at Central Michigan. Take a look at Concordia, Kentucky. He's been at the small schools, he's been at the bigger schools, and you can see he's built an interesting resume with a lot of experience. When he was at Central, I covered the bowl game they played Middle Tennessee State in GMC Bowl in Detroit. And the next day, he and a couple of other coaches went to Cincinnati and coached in the International Bowl a week later.
I remember that.
Yeah, remember that?
Yes.
That was a wild, wild couple of days for the Central Michigan coaching staff and for Coach Jones, but he said the players were good about it. They understood it was difficult for him, but he took what he felt obviously was the step in his career that he had to take.
And obviously I think he took the right one. And you're talking about one of the rising stars in the coaching profession. I mean, you get a job like Alcorn at such a young age and you bring in some talent and you turn the program around. I mean, he's got tremendous upside in coaching. Now, you may take your lumps in the SWAC conference. It's just what they do down in the SWAC. But hey, he'll hang in there. He's a tough one. He's a rising star.
No way anybody in Detroit to get mad at him. It was the Motor City Bowl, and that's a solid hit. Boy, you talk about taking lumps. There's a couple of lumps for Buckley. Delivered by Otis Young from that nose tackle position, a senior from Philadelphia. Number 94 taking a good look at him right there.
And it's one of those ones where you just hate to see a 300-pound man just get his hands on him, and then one of them hitting him high, another one hitting him low.
Keith Hall.
Tough day at the office for the young quarterback from Alcorn State.
All right, here's Taylor Richardson's first appearance as the field goal kicker. And it's blocked. Grambling with another block kick and a chance to do something with it. Well, Jeffrey Jack picked that block kick up. So 2 block kicks by Grambling special teams tonight.
You hate to use old cliches, but I mean, it's just perfect. When it rains,
oh yeah,
it pours. Look at this one. Low trajectory though, but even if the trajectory was low, just never had a chance. Where's the protection on that right side? Rusting through the line was Nigel Copeland, number 8. And I mean, look at this. I mean, you're talking about a guy that doesn't even have to lay out.
Well, here's something they ought to be concerned about for Alcorn. This is now their second field goal attempt for Richardson, and both have been blocked. He had one blocked last week, too.
Yeah, they've got to protect. And normally when that ball's blocked, the guy has to jump and leave his feet.
Yeah.
Copeland didn't even have to leave his feet.
So we have more flags as Batiste gets the pitch out from Dillon. And there's going to be a penalty on Grambling. Rod Broadway is thinking, you know.
We have an illegal formation on the offense, only 10 players on the field and 5 in the backfield.
3 minutes, 29 seconds. We're going back to the championship.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's only 10 on the offense. Why penalize them? If they don't have somebody to block somebody, that's their fault.
I think they penalized them for the illegal motion. That's what he started off saying. But yeah, I was saying, hey, if they want to play 10 on 11, let them do it. And it was a running play, so you didn't have to worry about anybody being covered or uncovered.
Coming up to the 3-minute mark in this one, a victory for Grambling. They'll go to 1-1, and Alcorn will drop to 0-2. Batiste. It's about 3 back from that 5-yard penalty. Rod Broadway stalking the sidelines. Got that coach mad look on right now. This whole quarter, he's kind of been scowling.
And that's just what coaches have to do.
I guess so.
Why the scorpion sting people? Because that's just what scorpions do. And what do coaches do? No matter what the score is, they just look mean all the way up until they get that bucket of ice thrown on them, and then they tend to loosen up a little bit.
Well, I think his task is going to be trying to deflate his team a little bit after this. I think.
I agree with you, because if they come out and play the rest of the season like they played that first half, it's going to be a long season.
Batiste on the option, and he gets swallowed up, and another flag comes in. And this would probably be a hold.
Talk about Rod Broadway. Last time a lot of our viewers saw him, there was some debate whether or not he was leaving Grambling to go to Florida A&M during the offseason.
Block in the back, on the offense, number 36, 10 yards from the previous bye. Replay it down.
Dante Cheek with that penalty there, so they'll back it up and brings up second down and very long with 2:09 remaining in our game.
So many people thought that Broadway would leave to go to Florida A&M to get reunited with his old president from North Carolina Central, and I was one of them. And so when I got here, I asked, hey, what made you stay? And he said, Jay, at the end of the day, I just think we can get a better job done here at Grambling State. And that says something about the university and his belief in this program.
Batiste again getting a lot of action. And normally he's listed as a receiver, but they've also used him in that backfield several times. I mentioned he would get some carries. Frank Warren comes on the field. And Lee Robinson again with another stop for the Braves.
Well, something about those guys in Mississippi. They always say there's always going to be some fight in that dog. I mean, they're going to keep some fight there. That's what they're going to do. And, talk about some of the star players. I mean, I'm very impressed with, McLaurin at the cornerback. And then you talk about Lee Robinson's doing a good job. Etienne's been all over the field, very active.
Milking the clock down to the final nubs here. And that is going to be Cornelius Walker. That'll set up fourth down.
Grambling showing that they can run, and it's a good opportunity for that offensive line to work on their run block a little bit. But with a classy act here, no point trying to run up the score. You see they tried to run out the clock there. Be an interesting season this 2008 year in the SWAC conference. Grambling has sent the warning shot across the bow. They plan on trying to hold on to their title.
I guess the question that we can't answer, you and I not tonight, maybe at the end of the year you could answer, is Grambling as good as they looked tonight after the first quarter? Is Alcorn going to struggle as much all season as they have all night tonight? Those are the questions we can't answer here in the second week of the season.
Those were excellent questions, and that was very well put. And I guess the only answer you come up with is we'll see.
And we'll have time for one more play. 3 seconds left. Again, by the way, we haven't said it enough. I think the Grambling special teams, their kick coverage has been outstanding. Punt and kick returns, and they blocked 2 kicks tonight as well. So here's what Grambling has done defensively.
6 sacks, limiting the team to less than 200 yards. So they improved on their defensive output by over 400 yards. Blocked 2 kicks, points off target. They did it all. I mean, they did everything that you could ask your defensive unit to do. Put points on the board, came up with turnovers. Very impressive performance by Rob Broadway's defensive unit.
So it'll be the first time since 1998 that Grambling has shut out Alcorn, unless there is a 69-yard touchdown on this play. And there will not be. Grambling State goes to 1-1. Alcorn goes to 0-2, and that bus ride back to Mississippi is going to be a long one for Alcorn as they try to figure out what they will do to get on the board next week. Our final score, Grambling State 29, Alcorn State nothing. The 2007 World Series of Smoker is coming up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jay Walker and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dave Lamont. Good night from Grambling.
Shuffle up and deal. Kramer wins it all. Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy!
I can dodge bullets, baby.
This is beyond fairy tale. It's inconceivable.
There it is. Doyle's done it. This is the greatest sport in the
world. And then there were 8 players who have conquered one of the strongest